Point, point the way. Learn more at pmrealpoint.com.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
Happy Friday. Good to be back in town.
It is good to see the skyline from the 8th floor of the Fisher Building.
You know, and we're going to put a bow on the Mackinac Policy Conference today.
Yeah.
We've got some more interviews to bring you, so we'll get to those throughout the morning. But there was some additional information that was breaking as we were leaving the island, so we'll talk about that.
Sure.
But as we were on the Shepler's Ferry heading back to the mainland, we did get notice that there is a deal in place.
Yeah.
It's a deal to get a deal done. Yeah.
A deal to get a deal.
It's a memorandum of understanding. And what that is essentially it's a handshake agreement to continue these talks. So this tentative MOU, memorandum of understanding, would pause the conflict for 60 days and would restart diplomatic discussions. But this is not the deal that we have been talking about.
Exactly.
This has nothing to do with the enriched uranium, the nuclear dust, as the president calls it. This doesn't have anything to do with the regime's nuclear plans or aspirations.
Right.
And this yet doesn't have anything to do with the blockade, sanction relief, things like that. So it is a bridge deal.
It still kicks the ball down the street.
I would agree. And as we were reading this thing, it doesn't feel like this is meaty enough for the president to sign it.
No, not at all.
So there would be a 60-day ceasefire extension to pause the fighting. The Strait of Hormuz would be open. It would become unrestricted. But Iran would have to remove all the naval mines within 30 days. There would not be any tolls imposed on those ships or freighters that would be passing through that critical waterway. And the U.S. would lift that naval blockade. But that means the mines need to be removed.
Right.
And Iran is not charging tolls. Iran and Oman are not charging tolls.
And this is within the 60 days, right?
Well,
all of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But the naval mines have to be removed within 30
days. Right.
As a result, the United States would ease some sanctions. It would allow Iran to resume their oil sales. There would be a discussion on the unfreezing of some frozen Iranian assets, but it does not address the nuclear issue. Again, if this isn't the deal, if it's not the final deal, then talks proceed. But remember, one of the things Iran has been talking about is, look, let's stop the fighting, and then we'll talk about the nuclear program.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's kind of what Iran wanted. Now, does that break the red line that Donald Trump sent? Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily.
Right.
But this doesn't feel like enough. It doesn't feel like enough. So will the president sign it? He said he's going to take a couple of days to mull it over. Said he's not in any rush. But that's where we stand today on that.
Also, pretty exciting downtown this weekend. We got the Grand Prix.
Yes.
And listen, it's a 1.7 mile circuit through the heart of downtown. Let me tell you, I love it on the streets. You know,
I agree.
Belle Isle was cool. I get it. But I just love it on the streets. And the drivers say that the bumpy streets create exciting action for the fans. Now, several drivers visited Children's Hospital, just so you know, before the Grand Prix starts, to meet the young patients. And Detroit police and fire officials say they've put an extensive safety plan in place, including local, state, and federal partners, undercover officers, crowd monitoring technology. And despite major road closures, the Detroit Windsor Tunnel will remain open throughout the weekend, too. So that's a good thing.
Very good thing. The Detroit Chevrolet Grand Prix presented by Lear. And there are things going on today.
Yes. Just
tomorrow,
free today.
Yes. Sunday, obviously, the race kicks off But it is a wonderful weekend. A lot of free events for people, a lot of free access points
Yes.
for people to check things out, expanded parking, things like that. So it's a great weekend. It's a great weekend to show off the city. Look, the Indianapolis 500 is fantastic.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But inside the city streets,
Those street courses, man.
yeah,
It's a different
they're
deal.
a lot of fun. Totally different beast.
Uh,
Meanwhile, the governor had some announcements yesterday.
Yeah, she said she will not run for president in 2028. And she was speaking at the conference, the Mackinac Policy Conference. And the term-limited governor says she expects a crowded presidential field, but made clear she won't be part of it. The governor says once she leaves office, she plans to take some time before deciding on her next move, adding she wants to continue making an impact, but isn't rushing into another role. The governor has long been mentioned as a possible White House contender. She was also considered as Joe Biden's running mate in 2020 before he selected Kamala Harris.
Okay, I'll believe her.
Okay? You just going to go with it?
I'll believe her for the moment.
Okay.
I don't know that it's totally off the table.
I don't think so. But
so she says, I'm going to take some time off before I consider my next move. But she does say I'm not going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So she does pretty clearly state that. I do wonder what her political aspirations are, though, going into the future.
They are,
because I mean, again, she's like, I'm gonna take some time to see what my next move is. Well, okay, that doesn't mean she's shutting the door to being back in the game.
No.
So what that means, we'll see. But she was pretty clear that she wasn't going to be running for president.
Could she become the president of MSU?
I doubt it.
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there.
I doubt it. Perry Johnson is going to be on the ballot, though.
Hey, he's made it. The Michigan Board of State Canvassers has voted to place Republican gubernatorial candidate Perry Johnson on the August primary ballot, despite allegations his campaign altered petition sheets after signatures were collected. The bipartisan board said it could not act on an affidavit tied to the accusations because the document was not formally before them during Thursday's meeting. Johnson submitted over 22,000 valid signatures, well above the required threshold. Meanwhile, Republican candidate Ralph Rebant was disqualified after election officials determined he did not have enough valid signatures to qualify. And also, there was a debate yesterday. It was a debate. It wasn't a gubernatorial debate, but it was a Senate debate on Mackinac Island yesterday. And the U.S. Senate candidates met at the policy conference, mostly cordial debate from what I understand. And U.S. Representative Haley Stevens, State Senator Mallory McMorrow, former health official Abdul El Sayed, outlining competing visions on key issues. The candidates clashed over the influence of the pro-Israel group AIPAC, approaches to artificial intelligence regulation, and how best to address rising healthcare costs. Stevens emphasized economic competitiveness and manufacturing. McMorrow focused on policy reforms and affordability. El Sayed pushed a more progressive agenda, including Medicare for all. El Sayed also criticized the absence of a dedicated healthcare question in the debate. All three are competing in the August primary to replace retiring Senator Gary Peters, with the race expected to be highly competitive in the fall.
Yeah, highly competitive.
And very expensive.
El Sayed was a little more combative than everybody else.
I expected that.
He was targeting Haley Stevens on AIPAC money.
Yes.
Things like that. And he goes, well, what does that buy you? And he said, $3.5 billion sent to a foreign military that could be used here to give glasses here, that could provide health care here, that could build schools here. That's where our money should be used. So he was certainly taking the approach of attacking, particularly on AIPAC money, big money from influential donors as a way to target, particularly Haley Stevens. Coming up on the other side, we were able to catch up with State Representative Bill Schuette. He had a number of things to talk about, the property tax vote that was taken in the House, and a whole host of other things. We'll talk to him next on JR Morning.
Did you know only 40% of people get to choose when they retire? To reduce fear and to understand if you have what you need to give you what you want in retirement, the charity has learned after teaching tens of thousands of families with assets between $1 to $20 million, you have to educate yourself and prepare now. Hi, I'm Kirk Cassidy, lead instructor for the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program, and the co-host of the Retirement Education Hour, heard here Saturday, 6 a.m. and 1 p.m. If you're retiring within 10 years or already retired, then join us for our retirement education courses held at major universities and colleges in your area. At this course, we'll teach you how and when to take income from which accounts at what age to minimize taxes and reduce the chances of outliving your money. Join us for our 8-hour, almost master's level retirement course to learn how to retire earlier, spend more, and reduce your anxiety. To find a course in your area, go to refedu.org. That's refedu.org. These courses are sponsored by the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. You can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
The Dawn Patrol, the twilight finish, going to school, and letting the big dog eat. For those of us who really love golf, we tend to speak our own language. Well, say hello to Gaylord, America's summer golf mecca. With championship courses sculpted along Michigan's northern forests, it's a place that speaks your language fluently. With signature courses designed by the likes of Robert Trent Jones and home to the #1 par 3 in America. Here you can spend a day playing among the most memorable courses you'll ever play. With world-class golf resorts, teeming trout streams, and an alpine spirit, here we find a retreat like no other. So whether you four-jack a putt or hit it on the screws, Gaylord is calling to you. Start planning your next golf trip at GaylordGolfMecca.com. That's GaylordGolfMecca.com. WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why we make it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Lighter traffic volumes, no accidents this morning, just a few construction notes. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes are scheduled to close. That's going to be in place until 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, many surface streets and main arteries into downtown will be closed for the Grand Prix. That's going to be in place until June 5th. Westbound M59 and M53, 2 right lanes are closed there till 9 a.m. this morning. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Beauty of a morning, plenty of dry pavement around, and a good-looking day today. Good-looking weekend. 85, we're close to it with sunshine today. Tonight, mainly clear, and dropping back to about 55 in town. Suburbs will be a tad cooler. And a front goes through, a cold front, northeast breeze tomorrow behind it. We will be cooler with sunshine, low 70s. On Sunday, a little milder, sunshine, upper 70s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
I'm Kevin Dietz. Coming up on All Talk, we'll be live from the Detroit Grand Prix as it roars back onto the streets of the city with thousands of fans expected along the riverfront. We'll have live coverage all morning with everything you need to know as Detroit continues building itself into a world-class sports and entertainment destination. All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
Lots to talk about at the Mackinac Policy Conference, and certainly at the state level. Representative Bill Schuette joins us. Joined by State Representative Bill Schuette. It's wonderful to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you in person, and great to be here on the porch of the Grand. So
yeah, and you've been busy. Yesterday, you and Brian Cowley chaired the run.
Yes.
Here on the island.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful, with Mackinac, it's always kind of, spin the wheel and see what type of weather you're going to get. But it was perfect running weather. And Brian and I, we did a nice route starting and ending at Mission Point. So it was a good time.
That's pretty good. Those hills
got to be in good shape to do it, man. Walking is something around here.
It is. You get a lot of steps on the island.
Yeah.
So it's the bicycle is and horse are 2 ways to get around, and running is a third way.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. And in the winter, snowmobile.
Yes, snowmobile. That is true. That is true.
Yeah. You also yesterday were on a panel on economic development, and obviously that's a big focus for you. What is the biggest, I want to call it, barrier to our economic development here in the state of Michigan as you see it?
Yeah, and I think really what it's been is Michigan's economic development strategy, I would say, has been, if it's an ice cream sundae, we've been spending too much time with the cherry on top and not enough time on the foundation, that ice cream underneath. And we've been working too much on this kind of big game hunting and not doing enough of taking care of our overall economic environment, because it's too expensive to do business in our state. It's too difficult to navigate the different barriers that the government is putting up for small businesses and large businesses alike. And that means we're going to lose to states like Ohio and Florida and Tennessee that are cheaper and easier to do business. So instead of trying to focus on those cherries on top, let's focus on building our base and our book of business in Michigan, make it an easier state to do business.
And a lot of people feel that Michigan may be losing out on data centers as well to other surrounding communities.
Yeah,
states.
Where Michigan is losing, we would I read Jace Bolger's op-ed in the Detroit News, and I read Daniel House as well. We wouldn't tolerate the type of losing that Michigan is doing in football to Ohio. Why are we tolerating it in the economic arena? And it's frustrating. We don't need respectfully a chief growth officer. We need growth policies. We need policies that attract business to the state. And that means and it's not rocket science, right? It's lower taxes. It's a simpler government to navigate. And it's an education system that has where your kids can learn and read and then draw from that for business.
Well, and Michigan, a purple state, obviously, and that it does complicate things because then you're not necessarily on the same trajectory. There's a positive to that, right? But at the same time, when it comes to our economic outlook, our futures, it does feel muddied when we're not on a specific trajectory. And then you can, argue the merits of the fringes of it, but we're not. Doesn't seem like we're on a right path. And there's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of red tape that goes along with that.
Well, but I'm not also going to take the fatalist case that because we're a purple state, we're doomed to just whipsaw back and forth and that we can't have good policy because of that. I mean, first off, Ohio and Florida, those were, decided 2 presidential elections because they were so contentious. And those are states that have implemented really good policies. And you even look over at, Pennsylvania, they were able to, rebuild their bridges after the disastrous, collapse they had because they said, we're going to get government out of the way and make it work for people. And that's another, very swing state. So I think what we have to do is we have to be serious and we have to be, we have to try to do actually difficult things and work towards building our economy stronger. And that's going to take, putting aside some partisan differences, but just actually making sure we deliver for the people.
I know affordability is a big word that we're hearing all the time. And I know you voted recently on a series of bills, and one would eliminate the state property tax. Your thoughts on that? Yeah,
it doesn't matter if I'm in, my part of the state in, mid-Michigan, I'm, down in the southeastern part of the state, or we're up here in northern Michigan. Michiganders are getting squeezed by the property taxes. I was talking to a senior citizen over in the Midland County area. She said, I don't even feel like I own my home. I'm just renting it from the government, and it's the one type of tax that you're paying that goes up and up and up every single year. And that impacts everybody. That impacts the senior citizen from Midland, but it also impacts that family that's trying to move into their first home. The average age of a new home buyer in Michigan is 40 right now for the first time home buyer. And, that if you can't own a home, it's hard to pursue that American dream that our grandparents and parents aspired to. So, yeah.
How do you replace that money, though, that's being taken away?
Yeah. So, couple of things. One, I think Michiganders are overtaxed, right? So we need to make sure that every single dollar that we're spending in our budget we're focusing on the priorities. We need to fully fund our public schools. We need to fully fund our public safety. We need to fully fund our public infrastructure. So let's start with those priorities. Just like when you're setting your home budget, first you pay the mortgage, then you pay your utilities, then you see if you have, money left over for Netflix. All right. We've been kind of doing it backwards, right?
Okay.
So first we need to set our priorities straight. And secondly, we need to look for a fairer kind of tax structure that's flatter and make sure that we're not disproportionately hitting our seniors and people moving homes and our property, property owners. So I think you look at states like Florida, you look at states like Ohio, North Carolina, they have larger populations and lower taxes. I think we can do better for Michigan families.
We've seen some of the issues with our infrastructure, particularly the dam up
Yeah.
north.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What is the latest on Edenville? Has there been any movement on that in some time?
It was a great site. I was, the last 3 years when I've driven up to the conference, I've driven by a overgrown riverbed on my way up on US 10, and this time I got to drive by a Sanford Lake that was filled in with water. So that was very exciting, and that's a great testament of, again, our state spending its money how it should on public infrastructure, right? We had a natural disaster, and 6 years later, we finally have our lakes back, and it's an important thing for because that's, again, local governments, they rely on that property tax revenue, and our local governments and that we in our community, the tourism that comes from people enjoying those lakes. So very important things we're able to get done, and proud of the infrastructure funding helped to secure for that.
Another run for you?
Yes, I'm up for my third term, and I last election I was the campaign chair for the House Republican Campaign Committee. We were the only chamber in the country to flip from blue to red and take back the state house for the Republicans. So working with Speaker Matt Hall, I think we've done great things on cutting property taxes, having a budget that is more respectful of Michigan taxpayer dollars, and that's what I'll continue to work to deliver on.
Yeah. Representative Bill Schuette, it's wonderful to see you. I feel like we could talk for
a
lot more time.
And your dad's a grandpa.
Hey, yes, he is. He is a grandpa. So Alden John Sherry was born in February to my sister Heidi and brother-in-law Greg. So
good for you, and an uncle.
And an uncle. It's a great job. It's a great job. In addition to state rep, an uncle.
No doubt about it.
There you go.
Bill Schuette, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk again very soon.
Thank you, guys.
It's one of the things that I loved about the policy conference this year, because at some point, I think one of the way that many people look at that conference is a lot of bigwigs getting together and patting themselves on the back.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was not the case, because they realized, and thankfully the Detroit Regional Chamber are doing these polls to understand truly maybe some of the underlying issues in the state. And that has drawn a lot of attention to some of our shortcomings, and that's forcing people to go, hold on a second. We need to look at real solutions here to fix some of these problems.
We have to do that, because we can't just ignore them, walk away, and think they're just going to fix themselves. We have to talk about these things, and we have to discuss it, and both sides have to try to come together and do it for the best of the state, for the betterment of the state.
Yeah, certainly. Coming up on the other side, Senator Alyssa Slotkin joins us, Congresswoman Haley Stevens. We talked to them up on the island. And again, one of their concerns are Chinese vehicles making their way into the United States and not necessarily being sold.
No.
The fact that they could just be coming in on day trips across the border, and what type of national security threat that could be, all while we're dealing with a potential deal in Iran. All that and more coming up on JR Morning. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for calling the Complete Battery Source.
This is probably a long shot, but you guys carry a battery for my boat?
Yep, got that.
But you didn't even hear what kind of boat I have.
Don't need to. We're your Complete Battery Source, where the answer is pretty much always, yep, got that.
But what if I want a battery for my motorcycle?
Yep, got that.
I haven't been able to find a battery anywhere for my...
I got that, too. Look, Complete Battery Source has batteries for everything that uses batteries, and we stock batteries for virtual any boat, for personal watercraft and runabouts, to great big luxury motor yachts, and motorcycles, too. Why, we stock batteries to fit every bike, from little scooters to great big performance and touring bikes.
Well, that sounds great. Sounds like Complete Battery Source is the place to power up all my summer toys.
That's right. All you got to do is come into any one of the 5 Complete Battery Source locations: Brighton, Southfield, Ypsilanti, Okemos, and Houghton Lake. Call toll-free 877-ALL-BATS or click on yepgotthat.com. 5 locations. Now you got that?
Yep, got that.
The Dan Bongino Show.
It's our movement, okay? It's ours. We built it.
Hard truths.
There are a bunch of people out there pulling you into an information vortex, dumping the dead pig in the well, hoping you jump in. Don't jump in the well. It's a trap. Find a way out immediately. This is the nothing is happening trap. And it is an inverted sense of reality. If we don't correct it and your kids believe it, I'm sorry, this show's for nothing.
The Dan Bongino Show.
There's only one choice, man.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
There's a place where mornings begin with coffee on the world's longest front porch and evenings end with music under the stars. For 140 years, that place has been Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island. Join us in our 140th season as America celebrates 250 years for a summer of special events and new Grand American evenings each night, beginning after dinner with outdoor entertainment and patriotic celebration for all ages. Join us for a season to celebrate. Visit grandhotel.com or give us a call at 1-800-33-GRAND and mention code WJR2026 for 15% off our best available rate. Conditions apply.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. The framework for a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran, waiting for the green light from President Trump.
If a memorandum of understanding is approved, it would mean a 60-day ceasefire extension, the Strait of Hormuz reopened, and Iran committing to dropping any ambitions of possessing a nuclear weapon.
Ashley Webster of the Fox Business Network in Tel Aviv. An explosive-laden Russian drone slams into an apartment building in Romania today, injuring 2 people. Moscow was targeting a nearby Ukrainian port. NATO's leader, Mark Rutte, describing Russia's behavior as reckless and a danger to us all. New York City's first Muslim mayor, that's Zohran Mamdani, confirms he's not going to Sunday's Israel Day parade. He's the first mayor to skip the event since it started in 1964. Mamdani is a critic of Israel's government. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why we make it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
No accidents on the roadways right now. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close until 5 a.m. on Monday. Westbound M59 and M53, 2 right lanes are closed there till 9 a.m. this morning. Right lane is closed on northbound Woodward at Square Lake till 3 o'clock this afternoon. And the left lane is closed on southbound Fort Street between Van Horn and Gibraltar until 6 p.m. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Colony Marine. You're not just buying a boat, you're starting a family tradition. With 3 locations, full service, marinas, and storage, Colony Marine keeps you on the water where the memories matter most. They don't just sell boats, they sell the boating lifestyle. Come visit Colony Marine today. Sunshine today, a high of 83. Right now it's 50. Clear skies tonight and a low of 52. Sunny and cooler tomorrow, high of 70. Sunshine for Sunday, high of 76. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
We're Michigan's only law firm 100% specialized in auto accidents. But what really sets us apart is how we treat people. Just ask Benjamin Caldwell.
In an otherwise painful situation, they and their team made getting me the highest accident settlement possible painless. Throughout the process, they kept me posted on the status of my case, as well as checking in regularly on my well-being.
If you've been hurt in an auto accident, go to autolaw.com. Michigan Auto Law. People over everything.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, dozing state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before. He'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, attorney general. Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
Meet Mount Pleasant and discover adventure around every corner. Tee off at one of the area's championship golf courses and end the night in downtown Mount Pleasant, filled with great dining and nightlife. Visit meetmtp.com and discover all that Central Michigan has to offer.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
Introducing Exclusively Cabinets, offering 9 different cabinet lines, with no budget too big or small. Exclusively Cabinets offer free, state-of-the-art design services. Join our clientele of over 100 5-star reviews. ExclusivelyCabinets.com.
Small business owners, does your bank get your life? Does it let you switch from your personal to your business account with a tap? Or let you give your CPA direct access? We do. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Paul W. Smith can be found on Focus from noon to 2 p.m. on 760 WJR. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
Well, with everything going on in the world, obviously in the Middle East with Iran, national security is of the utmost importance now, really more than ever.
Yes.
And we caught up with Congresswoman Haley Stevens, who's running for U.S. Senate, and Senator Alyssa Slotkin to talk about one of those very important issues, and they're working together on some legislation to address. Senator Alyssa Slotkin here, bonus appearance by Congresswoman Haley Stevens. It's nice to see you both.
Thank you. Thanks for
And
having
they're working
us.
on something together.
They're working on something together, but you had a pretty eventful day yesterday.
Oh, I did. 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
I came up to Mackinac early. So last year on Mackinac, I met at a bar at the Pink Pony. I met the head of the fort here at Mackinac. And he's like, if you ever want to shoot off a cannon. And so I've been thinking about it for a year. And I came back up. It's the 250th anniversary of the country. And he let me shoot off a cannon. And it was amazing.
Was it as good as you thought it would be?
It was. And honestly, what was really funny was, first of all, it's like a real working cannon. Obviously, you don't put in a cannonball, but it's a real working cannon. But just as I was firing, a tanker was a Laker was going by. And it really felt like very like British versus American. Like I was shooting at a ship, And so the poor tanker was probably like, what is happening right now? But it was great. We love being up here. I mean, Mackinac's
You didn't call the ship redcoats or anything like that. All right, good. All right.
I shoved my fist at that.
There you go. I want to ask you about the housing crisis. I know you've been talking about the supply side of the housing crisis. What is it about this moment that kind of convinced you that the country needs that level of urgency?
Well, because I don't think there's anything more fundamental to the American dream than owning your own home. It's literally like what we're raised as Americans to believe is the path into, strong middle-class life and beyond. And it's just become really difficult for people to buy a home. We're down 4 million units of housing across the country. It's just a straight up supply and demand problem. And so we can talk about who gets to own, apartments and who gets to own things. But until we deal with the supply problem, we're going to have jacked up prices that people can't afford. So that's where I've put my energy, and we need to declare a housing emergency. We've declared an emergency for everything else. This president declared an emergency against Canada, right? So, but what I think the average person wants is like deal with the issues that affect me, my pocketbook, my kid, and housing is right up there at the top of the list.
And Congresswoman, you guys have been working jointly on some legislation on Chinese cars as well. Tell us about that.
Well, we're taking a step to address the national security consideration with Chinese technologies and automobiles, and also the economic point of this. I've sat for 4 years now on the Strategic Competition Select Committee with the Chinese Communist Party and what the threat that they pose to our industrial base. And today is another step in a great direction with one of our country's leading national security experts, Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin. And we're going to be aggressive here because Michigan jobs are on the line, but also so is our national security. So close our border to Chinese vehicles and Chinese technology in the vehicles, even for day trips. That's how aggressive we believe we
Have
need
you
to be
seen
right
those
now.
day trips?
I have not
happening?
witnessed a day
Not
trip.
you
or-
personally.
no.
Have we, as a country, seen them come across any particular border?
The southern border. We have been seeing some instances. China has been previously soliciting the sale of their vehicles into Mexico. We know that they just cut a deal with Canada. The president and started a trade war with Canada, pushed them into the arms of the Chinese. I've spoken to the Canadian ambassador about the need for us to protect our borders, codified trade rules and laws so that we aren't exploited, because what China does is they exploit the free market at the expense of all of our jobs. They do not play by the rules. They never have. 25 plus years in the WTO, and we have been screwed every step of the way.
And I mean, what would really keep someone from, if you guys didn't have this where you're trying to block it from coming over the border? I mean, somebody could come in for a day trip, let's say, and sell the car. Could they sell the car to somebody over here, and the person just keeps it over here? So now you got a bunch of Chinese cars just driving around.
I don't know if they could sell it. I mean, it'd be hard to get the title, passed and everything, but they can certainly come across the border, drive up to Selfridge Air Force Base, take some video with the car, right?
Yes,
the car is a
absolutely.
traveling surveillance package,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
And all of that data that the car is collecting is being sent back to Beijing, right? And the Canadians, look, Trump punched him in the teeth,
Mhm.
and the
51st
Canadians,
state and all that
right?
stuff,
The
yeah.
Canadians have responded by saying, "Fine, we'll just start importing Chinese cars, tens of thousands of them," and so that's like a this year situation. And so, of course, if they're going to start selling Chinese cars in Canada, what's to keep them coming over all the time?
Sure.
It's full motion video, it's geo mapping, it's the whole thing. It can be remotely hacked and piloted. So we just wanted to put down basically a ban and say you just cannot come over our bridges and tunnels with these Chinese vehicles, collect on us and go back, or sell them, do any monkey business.
Sure.
We just wanted to make that clear. We love our Canadian cousins, but their decision to bring in these Chinese cars does not have to be our decision to bring in Chinese cars.
Well, and even at the fundamental level, obviously the national security concern is real. Most people, I mean, aren't thinking about that necessarily. But if these cars come in and they're able to be sold, now you're in a completely different situation because they're going to be sold for dirt cheap. And quite frankly, they're decent cars.
And that money's going to go right to China.
Exactly.
And you're going to undercut.
actors.
You're going to undercut our jobs. You're going
That's
to
right.
undercut the big three. Throw Toyota in the mix. It's a huge problem.
And we've watched in Europe, right? Europe said, screw it, we're going to have Chinese cars come in. We know that they subsidize the price. They make them super cheap to undercut our, Volkswagen, whatever. They let them in, and they now have 15% market share. I mean, they have just dominated. They have 15% market share in Mexico. The Chinese have just gone all over Mexico to set up shop. So I think the bottom line is it's an economic security issue. And Haley has been very good. I mean, Haley and I were freshmen together back in 2019.
Yeah.
She knows the auto industry. She was worked as a chief of staff to the Auto Rescue Task Force way back when with Obama. And I think between the economic security issues and the national security issues, hell no for Michigan in bringing in Chinese cars.
And quickly, I just want to, talk to you about you trying to keep guns out of the U.S. mail.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for recognizing that.
Yeah.
The Trump administration made note that they are not going to enforce a law that would allow somebody to ship a gun through the mail, sell a gun through the mail, circumventing background checks and loopholes. This is very dangerous. It is wrong. And so I introduced legislation alongside almost a dozen of my colleagues from all over the country to close that loophole, to stop the Trump administration from allowing anybody to ship a gun through the mail. Look, he keeps us on our toes, but I work just as hard, and if not harder, for Michigan and our safety and our security every step of the way.
Senator Alyssa Slotkin, Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Appreciate you both. So good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll talk again soon.
In Michigan, things are built the right way. The Barn Data Center in Saline Township is designed with Michigan in mind, creating jobs, carefully planning for energy and water use, protecting natural resources, and investing millions into local schools and public safety. When Michigan grows, we have to preserve our community and invest in the future, because how we grow matters. Find out more at thesalinebarn.com.
Meadowbrook Theater invites you to Always a Bridesmaid from the writers of The Golden Girls and Kingdom Come. On the night of their senior prom, Libby, Ruth, Deidre, Monette, and Charlie promise that they'll be bridesmaids at one another's wedding, no matter what. Now, more than 30 years later, these Southern gals are still making the long walk for each other, determined to honor that vow, for better or for worse. It takes on a whole new meaning in this delicious comedy about old friends. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300 or visit Ticketmaster.com. See Always a Bridesmaid at Meadowbrook Theater through June 21st.
If you keep doing what you're doing, where will you be in 10 years? When you go to work, your money is at home sitting on the couch. At Peak Wealth Management, we believe your money should work as hard as you do. Our Peak Proven process ensures recommendations are in your best interest. As an independent, fee-based firm, we prioritize you, not big corporations. Visit peakwm.com for your second opinion and retire with peak confidence.
Life is beautiful and fragile. We fall. We get tired. And sometimes we get sick. But with Corewell Health, we are also strong. We fight disease. We battle cancer. We come together. We come back. We push forward. When the body breaks, we break through. Corewell Health. We can.
I'm Pastor Darren Weiss, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. One of the best ways we can make a difference in our community is by volunteering together. At Grace, we could use your help. Families, churches, schools, workplaces, everyone has something to offer to serve side by side and bring hope to those in need. Whether you prepare a meal or help us rehab a home, your time will have a lasting impact. It strengthens communities and brings people closer together. Call 855-HELP-GCH or go to gracecentersofhope.org.
There are 3 simple things drivers can do to help keep Michigan roads safe. Eyes up, phone down, give at least 3 feet when passing a bicyclist. Michigan averages over 1,500 bicycle-related crashes a year. That's a lot of injuries or even deaths that could have been avoided. That's why state law requires 3 feet when passing a bicyclist. And some communities require 5 feet. This message brought to you by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters and the League of Michigan Bicyclists.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why we make it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
One accident on the roadways. That's northbound 75 at Springwells. It's off to both shoulders. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close till 5 a.m. on Monday. Westbound M59 at M53. 2 right lanes are closed there till 9 a.m. this morning. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
A sunny and warm Friday. Front will come through overnight with limited, actually no precipitation. Let's make that. And we'll see some pleasant weather for the upcoming weekend. Cleared at start. Sunshine may mix with a few high clouds today, about 85. Tonight, clear and 55. Suburbs will be just a tad cooler. Sun back cooler tomorrow with an east-northeast breeze, low 70s. And a beautiful Sunday coming up, sunshine, upper 70s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Sponsored by Femininio Law. GetDavidGetPaid.com. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Femininio Law. Get David, get paid.
After an accident, help shouldn't be on hold. That's why only Femininio Law has the accident response team. We work for you, we meet with doctors, we preserve the evidence. Call 855-65-CRASH or visit getdavidgetpaid.com.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
So yesterday at about noon, it was 1 o'clock, the news on the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran came out. And again, it's basically, we want the straits to reopen. You got to remove the mines. We're going to continue to talk about nuclear. Those are the real main key points, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's not an overall deal, but the markets are reacting. And futures are up this morning. Gas. Oil prices were heading down.
Gas now.
The actual cost of gas at the gas station went down in the last few days, which was nice to see. And so what are the market ramifications for this? David Sowerby is the managing director and portfolio manager at Ancora in Bloomfield Hills. David, good morning. Happy Friday to you.
Outstanding. Good to be with you.
Let's talk a little bit about it, because I want to take you back to the tariff days, because during that time, the markets were reacting to every single word the president was saying. Up and down, and good news and bad news, and whatever it was, however they perceived it, they were hanging on every word. They kind of got over that. They kind of started to take a more pragmatic approach. The markets weren't as volatile. It feels like the same situation here, where everything was very predicated on what Wall Street was doing based on what was coming out of the administration, although that seemed to level out. But now this news, obviously Wall Street's reacting in a positive way.
It is. Well, put it in perspective, during the tariff sell-off for stocks, they fell 20%. In this case, the market fell 10% in the month of March. And then we had one of the fastest rebounds in 50 years off those lows. It really comes down to corporate profits. I'll give you one quick statistic. Before the bombing in Iran started, corporate profits for the U.S. economy were going to grow 14% this year. As companies continue to report better news, now corporate profits are expected to grow 22% this year. That's really unprecedented to see that big an increase in profit estimates in the face of what at times had been $100 oil prices.
Dave, we saw the NASDAQ jump sharply again, with the big tech continuing to lead the charge. Are investors, are they leaning into technology because they genuinely believe in long-term growth, or because they see it as just the safest place to park money during some uncertain times?
The first part of the question, Lloyd, you're right. Long-term growth in technology, particularly in the semiconductor names and storage names that are the prime beneficiaries of artificial intelligence spending. It's been not anywhere near that for the software stocks. They're still down year to date because of fears of displacement. But you're right, it's been all tech. If I look at the best performers in the last 3 months, it's Intel, Advanced Micro Devices, Micron Technology, SanDisk. It's been a very dominant tech market.
And so when those on Wall Street are looking at the current landscape and looking down the road, do you feel that they're confident that something is going to get done, or are they going to continue to just watch things closely?
They're confident that their companies will still be able to generate shareholder value and profits in the face of still uncertainty and the price of oil and the price of gasoline. That's really what it comes down to, is belief that American companies will continue to provide shareholder value in the face of, if it's tariffs, if it's inflation, if it's high oil prices. U.S. companies have been very good at providing profits, cash flow, and return to the shareholder.
David, if this memorandum of understanding between the U.S. and Iran actually gets signed, what sectors of the economy stand to benefit the most, and which sectors could maybe lose some momentum?
Well, I think one sector that really naturally is going to benefit is going to be consumer discretionary stocks, travel, leisure, the autos put in there too. People have more confidence to go out and spend. That they've already seen early in 2026, tax refunds are up significantly over year ago levels. Companies are starting to get the first wave of the tariff refunds back to them. Anything that's more cyclical, like consumer, Lloyd, that does the best.
Okay.
What are you telling your clients at this point? Because I'm sure people get a little antsy when things like this are going on, or they get a little bullish potentially when good news comes out. So what's your advice to folks?
Chris, two main objectives here. One is just what we've been talking about. U.S. companies' ability to deliver expanding profit margins, return to the shareholder. That's the good news. What's really been underneath the surface and less apparent is that it's been a market that's been dominated by more of a handful of stocks than all the stocks. One quick statistic. We're certainly happy that the stock market is 10% higher than it was at the end of February when the bombing started. But if I told you out of the 500 stocks in the S&P 500, nearly 60% of the 500 are still below zero, that tells you that it's been a good market for a handful of stocks. But the median company, the 250th company in the last 3 months, is still about 2 to 3% negative. I want to see more participation or breadth in the market.
And, David, when you look ahead for the second half of the year, what concerns you the most? Is it inflation, slowing growth, energy prices? What concerns you?
Oh, there's enough, Lloyd. Usually it's the risk you don't know that bites you the hardest. But out of the ones that you correctly just referenced, it would still be lingering inflation. We have a new Fed chairman now who will be very focused on getting that inflation rate still lower. It's not acceptable above 3% as it sits today. So that's probably the biggest risk, not just to the market, but to an important state like Michigan, which is more inflation sensitive.
David Sowerby, always appreciate your insight, your expertise, and we will talk again very soon.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me with you.
Of course,
Dave.
you
Have
got
a good
it.
weekend.
Tigers lost to the Angels yesterday, 7-1. Ho hum. They continue to struggle mightily. And again, AJ Hinch after the game said it was just a tough day for them at the plate.
We had a guy or two on base, so we had the one inning where we late where we had multiple runners on base, but the hits after it weren't there. So obviously a tough day offensively to produce much.
They gave up 21 runs in that series.
Yeah,
against the Angels, 21 runs to 7 runs scored. I mean, it is tough sledding for them right now.
Can we rebound? This season, can we rebound?
I think just made Jason's skin crawl.
It's not a bust.
I don't know. Our Tigers
I do
optimist.
have some positive news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty stopped walking people in his last 3 starts.
How about that?
Well,
but if you can't score
Baby
runs,
steps.
it doesn't matter how good your pitch.
Sometimes it's just a small thing.
That's exactly right. 7 o'clock hour will get you caught up on the headlines. Also, Governor Gretchen Whitmer joins us in the 7 o'clock. It's JR Morning.
The Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear is back. With us to talk about it is Todd Christensen, Director of Motorsports and Marketing. And Todd, beyond what's happening on the track, GM has a new motorsports exhibit tied to the Grand Prix this year. What can fans expect?
We're excited to introduce our new motorsports exhibit inside Entrance 1 at the Hudson's Detroit building. Everything we race from Chevrolet and Cadillac, from stock cars to Corvettes to Cadillac GTP sports car. We even have Joseph Newgarden's winning IndyCar from the 2019 Detroit Grand Prix.
Todd, for someone thinking about coming downtown for the race, what can they expect to see outside of the actual racing?
We've got simulators where you can compete with your friends for fast lap times. We've got racing merchandise and all kinds of other interactive displays. Plus, you're just blocks away from all the fan activities at Spirit Plaza, Hart Plaza. There's free viewing platforms along Jefferson. So get down here the last weekend of May. Be part of all the action at the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix.
The Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear, downtown Detroit, May 29th through the 31st. Visit DetroitGP.com.
WJR.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it, because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
We're still waiting for President Trump's approval. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, on a potential agreement to extend the Iran ceasefire for 60 days. He tells Laura Trump in an interview that'll air on her show tomorrow night.
That's what I do. I negotiate. They negotiate. They're very good negotiators. They're crafty. But in the end, we have all the cards.
Now to Fox's Jeff Paul in Dubai.
Here is what's on the table regarding the potential 60-day agreement. The Strait of Hormuz fully reopens and mines are removed within 30 days. The U.S. lifts its blockade, allowing Iran to sell oil freely. Iran agrees to not pursue a nuclear weapon, and talks begin on disposing its enriched uranium. There would also be discussions surrounding humanitarian aid for Iran, and a conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon would then end.
Russia's war in Ukraine has spilled over into Romania again after a drone launched across the border.
The drone, packed with explosives, hit the roof of an apartment building in Galati, Romania, starting a fire on the top 10th floor. The city's emergency response agency says a woman and her child are hospitalized with minor injuries, and 70 people are evacuated from the building. The drone was part of an overnight attack on Ukraine. Galati is on the Danube River near the borders of Ukraine and Moldova. A drone crash in Romania last month caused damage, but these are the first injuries.
That's Fox's Chris Foster. A big setback for Blue Origin. A big explosion lit up the night sky at Cape Canaveral. A rocket being tested before next week's launch blew up.
The mega rocket had been preparing to bring 48 satellites into low Earth orbit in the coming weeks in a mission that would have expanded Amazon's broadband capabilities. Blue Origin CEO Jeff Bezos says no one was hurt. He says it is also too early to know what caused this blast. He took to X, writing in part, quote, "Very rough day, but we'll rebuild whatever needs rebuilding."
That's Fox's Carly Shimkus. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Earn points like a pro anywhere you go on eligible purchases with the new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval, exclusions and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Northbound 75 at Springwells, a crash off to both shoulders is causing delays to Dearborn Street. Westbound 94 between Connor and Van Dyke, we're seeing heavy traffic. And then eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper, beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close until 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marygrove Awnings. In 48 hours, you could be sitting in the shade this week. Marygrove, motorized, no crank, built in Detroit for over 90 years. Book your free appointment now at marygrove.com or by calling 1-800-44-AWNING. Sunshine today, a high of 83. Right now it's 50. Clear skies tonight and a low of 52. Sunny and cooler tomorrow, high of 70. Then sunshine for Sunday, high of 76. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR, traffic and weather first.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
It's not just morning, it's a JR morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and on the WJR app, where Michigan comes to talk.
Good to have you here on a Friday. And the Detroit Grand Prix, the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear, is back this weekend. And it is a 1.7 mile street course, and it is going to be absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait, especially after the Indy 500 last weekend, which was the closest finish in the race's history.
Yes.
You've got some unbelievable drivers out there. Felix Rosenquist is the one who won in Indianapolis by just a fraction of a second, beating David Malukas, the Penske driver. And now we get a little street racing downtown.
And it's free pre-day today.
Yes.
So get out there and really check it out. Going to have great weather. So great weather this weekend. So it's going to be a good time downtown. The drivers say that the bumpy streets really create exciting action for the fans. And also the Detroit Police, Fire, they have put together a safety plan in place, including local, state, and federal partners, undercover officers, and crowd monitoring technology. And the Detroit Windsor Tunnel will remain open throughout the weekend as well. So just to let you know about that, but it's going to be a fun time on the streets of downtown Detroit.
Yeah, and everything is free today for everyone. You can access Hart Plaza, the Detroit Riverwalk. Certain grandstands are open on a first-come, first-served basis.
A lot of access so you can see. And that's the big deal. They want access so people can come down there and check it out and have a good time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different races. Obviously, the Grand Prix on Sunday at 12:30, but the NXT series, which is like the next group of racers that are going to be in the big race one day, they'll race a little earlier in the day. And there's even a race Saturday. The IMSA Chevrolet Detroit Sports Car Classic will be held. So it's a full weekend of unbelievable cars, racing, the whole deal.
It is. Something else, fully autonomous ride-hailing is coming to Detroit later this year when Waymo launches its driverless taxi service. Michigan has one of the most permissive self-driving frameworks in the country, and the state only requires tech companies to complete 1 million test miles and carry $10 million of insurance. However, safety experts warn that the state's decade-old laws leave major questions unanswered, including who's legally liable if a robo-taxi crashes. With Detroit lacking any city-level drone regulations, local police will have to rely on vague state laws to issue citations if driverless vehicles commit traffic violations. That's going to be great.
I can't wait. I know we've been talking about it for a while. I can't wait.
What about up on Mackinac when we saw the cop with the gun, with the with the speed gun?
Okay. So I didn't actually realize that this was a law up there.
No,
that the state passed a law up there.
Last 2024.
You can't ride your bike over 15 miles an hour.
That's right.
Now, I don't know how you track that on a bike. I have never owned a bike with a speedometer on it. Maybe on your phone.
Yeah. Well, the police can track it.
They can track it. So, if you're driving down the freeway, sometimes there'll be a cop at an underpass or maybe trying to hide off to the side a little bit,
side corner there. Yeah,
just to try to catch you, and they'll track your speed.
Yeah,
we're in one of the carriages going downtown from the hotel, and we look over, and there's a bike cop.
Yeah,
because I don't have cars. It's standing behind a light post with the speed gun.
I'd switch careers.
Oh my
guys,
God.
I'd never seen anything like it before in my life.
Crazy.
We were like, what is he doing? What? Like, nobody's going fast. Nobody. There's nowhere to go that you're going to go fast.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're tracking. But then we looked it up, and they had passed a law.
Yep.
So you can't ride your bike over 50 miles an hour.
Well, you know what it is. Somebody ruined it for everybody else.
Well,
that's what it
somebody else said. Somebody else said somebody did something.
Yes.
And it caused that.
Well, it's from coming up from the Grand, there's a bit of a hill as you're going down into the residential
and people
area.
fly down that hill. They
and
do.
so you come down
is
that. That's where he was at the bottom of that hill behind a light post.
Makes sense.
It was. It really
sounds
was
so funny.
It was
I
funny.
just had to bring that up. That was funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. Meanwhile, on Iran, there is a MOU in place, or at least being considered now by the president, a memorandum of understanding, which is essentially a handshake agreement at this point to continue these conversations. What does it include? Well, it would include a 60-day ceasefire extension to pause the fighting. There would be more opportunities to create a broader peace plan. The Strait of Hormuz would become open and unrestricted, but naval mines need to be removed. There will be no tolls put on ships and cargo ships that are going to be passing through that strait. And the United States is going to lift the blockade. There would even be sanctions that would potentially be lifted. Scott Bessent talked a little bit about that yesterday, when those sanctions might be released.
Nothing is going to be on the table until we see the Strait of Hormuz open and the Iranians agree that they have to turn over the highly enriched uranium and that they can't have a nuclear program.
Meanwhile, Vice President J.D. Vance on the MOU.
We're going back and forth on a couple of language points. I do think that we've made a lot of progress here. It's very clear that I think the Iranians, they want a deal, and they want to open the Straits of Hormuz. We want them to open the Straits of Hormuz. There are a couple of issues on the nuclear stuff, the highly enriched stockpile, and also the question of enrichment.
That is the question.
That's it.
That's been the bottom line and the red line for the president of the United States, which is all that nuclear dust goes away. It will either be destroyed, it will be taken somewhere else to be destroyed, or I should say, the nuclear ambitions go away, your nuclear programs go away. So that has become the red line, certainly for Iran as well.
I'd be surprised if the president signs this MOU. How about you?
I would too be surprised, although it's innocuous enough to be fine. Like it's a deal before the deal.
Yeah, but it also seems like it's kicking the can again.
Well, it is. It certainly is, and that's something that Iran
loves.
Yeah.
A federal judge has ordered Comerica Bank to turn over more than $13,000 seized from an account linked to former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Chief U.S. District Judge Stephen Murphy ruled the money will be applied toward the $823,000 Kilpatrick still owes taxpayers from his 2013 public corruption conviction. The funds were taken from a business account registered to Kilpatrick's wife. The seizure marks the largest single dent in Kilpatrick's restitution in years, as federal prosecutors continue to hunt for assets while Kilpatrick's $1 million suburban mansion faces foreclosure.
Interesting.
Yeah, still.
Story keeps on chugging on.
I'm telling you, man, it's the story that keeps giving.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer joins us on the other side, but first at 7:12, time for WJR's Business Beat, brought to you by Shelving.com. We rack your world. Here's Jeff Sloan, the founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR.
Good morning. Worried about AI coming for your job? We all are well aware of the sweeping changes AI is creating, both positively and negatively, in business and in our daily lives as well. Some good, some not so good. But here's some good news when it comes to fearing job losses due to AI. Gartner now reports in a just released study that AI is cannibalizing jobs now, but by 2028, it may actually be responsible for creating more jobs than it displaces. Gartner surveyed 110 HR leaders for the study. And so First, the current reality that Gartner found is really no surprise to most of us, and that is that AI automation has led to fewer available entry-level roles and more displacement of current entry-level roles. Almost a third of HR professionals surveyed said companies are hiring fewer junior staffers and more mid-level workers, with AI expected to finish tasks that used to be given to those early career workers. However, Kaylin Lowmaster, director analyst in Gartner's HR practice, said in a statement with the release of the study's results, AI is ultimately going to reverse the course and result in more jobs gained than those lost by 2028. This does depend, however, on the need for organizations to rethink how employees gain expertise and grow within the organization, or companies will find themselves without ready talent for the jobs AI will help to create in the future. As companies continue to harness the capabilities of AI in the workplace, it will become increasingly important for HR leaders to take a more skill-centric approach, Gartner said. Otherwise, organizations risk derailing the careers of their existing employees and potential future employees. So the bottom line, the news, while concerning currently to those of us who hold those entry-level jobs, the future looks bright as long as organizations and employees are well aware of how to be in front of the job growth AI will create in the future. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, the source for everything you need to start and grow your own business. And that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
Don't leave safety to chance. Shelving.com has protective gear, safety mirrors, and Unirack pallet racking paired with netting and pallet stops to keep your facility protected. Plus certified safety assessments to keep you OSHA compliant.
Shelving.com, we rack your world.
We're living through a monetary crime scene, and your IRA or 401k is a key victim. Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. In 1971, gold was $35 an ounce. After the dollar was cut loose from it, inflation soared. And in just 9 years, gold hit $850. People who diversified into precious metals survived and thrived. Today, we're in a worse position because we face inflation and massive debt. Fortunately, gold is still an option. My trusted friends at Birch Gold Group can help you own gold inside your retirement account. Plus, you pay 0 penalties on the transfer. Start now by getting a free info kit on gold. Text the word SECURE to 989898. We're facing the same monetary chaos as the 70s with significantly more debt. Get your free info kit from Birch Gold. Just text SECURE to the number 989898.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement, Sunday afternoons at 2. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi, it's Paul W. Smith. We're all glad to finally be able to enjoy walks, golf, pickleball, and other activities outside. Don't let severe or chronic back, neck, or knee pain get in the way of you doing the things you love. Call my friend Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute. Thousands of people have reduced or eliminated their pain thanks to his gentle, relaxing, non-invasive, and best of all, non-surgical intra-disc neutrosis and knee restore RX treatments that stimulate the body's natural healing process. If you have spinal stenosis, herniated, bulging, or degenerative discs, sciatica pain, numbness, tingling, or burning in your hands, arms, and legs, osteoarthritis, or meniscus tears, Dr. Kogan can help you. Mention WJR in May to receive a consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment for only $49 for your first visit. The Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and Bad Axe. Call 586-416-DISC, 586-416-3472.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
We have a couple of crashes slowing you down on the roads. Westbound 696 after the Lodge. That one's taking up the right lane. Northbound 75 at Springwells. That's been moved off to the right shoulder. Construction-wise, eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close till 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by University of Michigan, working to advance technologies to improve lives, from predicting hazardous space weather for astronauts to helping surgeons detect missed cancer tissue in seconds. Learn more at umich.edu/look. This message is sponsored by University of Michigan's Michigan Creative. Here's your forecast.
Real good looking morning, and we've got some great weather right through the upcoming weekend. A little bit of a cool down, though, with the front coming through tonight. Sunshine for the most part today, near 85. Tonight, near 55 and mainly clear. A little breezy on Saturday and cooler with sunshine, 73. Sunny Sunday, 77. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming in June, the biggest birthday party in history.
America 250, Michigan made, from 760 WJR.
Welcome back to JR Morning, broadcasting from the Mackinac Policy Conference, where this year's theme, Finding Common Ground. And I spoke with Detroit Mayor Mary Sheffield. The mayor will deliver one of the conference's keynote addresses as Detroit celebrates major milestones, including the end of federal bankruptcy oversight, rising population numbers, strong credit ratings, major investments across the state.
The governor of the great state of Michigan is here, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. It's nice to see you as always.
When I show up early and it's so annoying, I apologize to Winnie for, showing up in her time slot.
I said a politician's early. That's incredible.
It's how we roll in
Yeah.
the Whitmer administration.
Okay.
Mhm.
Pathologically punctual, which means we're always early.
That's
You're a
pretty
morning
good.
person. You're a morning person.
I am. I was telling you earlier, I always wish that they had the debates at like 8 a.m.
Prime time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get the coffee IV in.
9
get after
p.m.
it.
I like to go to bed.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
Governor. Yes.
This conference has been pretty eye-opening. Obviously, the bipartisanship issue has been talked about for a long time. But yesterday, you signed the bill that was passed here in the state of Michigan to allocate money for Selfridge. And you went to Washington. You went and met with Donald Trump. You met with a number of leaders in Washington to get that done for not only Macomb County, but for the state of Michigan. You took heat for it.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely crazy, because your job to the people of Michigan is to make sure that we are positioned in the best possible way. And you went and got it done, and you signed that yesterday. What was that like for you?
Well, it felt good. I think most people in Michigan don't have insight into why Selfridge is so important for our state. We've got a number of installations across the state that are all dependent on a fighter mission at Selfridge, whether it's in Battle Creek or in Alpena or in Grayling. I mean, this is a fighter mission. It brings expertise. It helps us grow our aerospace and defense work. We have seen an incredible investment in these spaces. Michigan controls more of our air than other states. We've got land and water where you can do training. So this has been something that's so important and helpful for our Michigan economy. But losing a fighter mission would have been devastating for all of those communities, for our state, and for this industry. So getting this cutting edge mission is a big deal. It's $850 million in economic activity annually. It's 5,000 military families on the base, but it's so far beyond all of that. So it's a great thing. We got a tanker mission under the Biden administration. We got this F-15EX mission under the Trump administration. All the predecessors have worked to get this done. We were able to get it done, and I'm really proud of that.
And you position yourself as someone willing to work across party lines. And at a time, right now, as politics feels increasingly nationalized and polarized, you think voters still reward pragmatism?
I'm here, ain't I? Really, I think that after my first term, I tried to fix the roads with a gas tax. People said, "Oh God, you're never going to get reelected." We had to make tough decisions during a pandemic, and people said, "Oh, that's going to make it harder." The people of Michigan reelected me by almost 11 points in a state that you don't see elections decided by that margin very often. I think it's because people see that I'm always going to put them first. And that's what the job is, whether it is taking, getting threats during a pandemic when I make decisions to keep people safe, or it's going to the White House with a administration I have disagree with on 99% of the issues. Still showing up. I took heat for that. But at the end of the day, so long as Michiganders know I'm going to put them first, that's all I really care about.
You're a proud alumnus of Michigan State. And yesterday we got the news that Kevin Guskowitz was stepping aside and he was going to take another job. Then the debate of, well, how are these trustees selected? Should they be selected at party conventions? Should they be on the ballot? Should they be appointed by the governor? Is that a power you think somebody in your seat should possess? And what was your reaction to that yesterday?
Well, first, I would say it's heartbreaking. I think Guskowitz was doing some wonderful work at MSU. We need stability. This is a flagship university for the state of Michigan, absolutely an economic driver for us, an educator of our own people. So much wonderful stuff is happening on these tier one research institutions, like Michigan, Wayne State. And I think that this is a moment where we have an archaic system and it just doesn't work. It is stupid to have, people in these crucial positions nominated at a small convention. It's a minute number of people that make the decisions of who's going in here. And it's dependent on who you know. Are you tied in with the DeVos family at the Republican convention? Are you tight with one of the big unions at the Democratic convention? These are important positions. These are stewards of these, institutions that we all rely on. I do think they should be appointed. And I got to tell you, governors, whether it's, Jim Blanchard, John Engler, Jennifer Granholm, Rick Snyder, or Gretchen Whitmer, we appoint to the vast majority of our colleges, and you don't see the same kind of chaos and the same kind of lack of, of coordination and vision. And I think that speaks to why this is an archaic system that's got to be changed. We have 3 people at this board of trustees that have driven out a succession of great potential leaders for these institutions, and it's really been destructive, and we got to change the system.
Governor, at this year's conference, there's been a recurring theme that Michigan's house is on fire economically and demographically. You agree with that assessment? And do you think the state is actually better positioned than critics suggest?
Well, it's interesting when you look at some of the things that are driving the stress, right, in our economy. The chaos around tariffs is a huge part of what we are feeling in Michigan. No governor can control the White House and their tariff strategy that is ever changing. You see the ugliness of the rhetoric toward our Canadian neighbors and friends, right? That also has a damaging impact. So you think of the core manufacturing that we do around autos and OEMs and the investments that we need to be successful here, between the tariffs and the rhetoric toward Canada, it has made it harder for this backbone of our economy here. We also know that gas prices are hurting people. This is something I can't control either. We've got a war in Iran that is continuing to make it harder for people in Michigan to get ahead. So the work that we've done to help people keep money in their pockets, to make sure that our workforce has the skills, all the investment that we've landed in economic development, these are all really good things that have mitigated the pain coming out of DC. But at the end of the day, those overarching stressors will continue to make it hard here. And that's why I'm going to keep lobbying the folks in Washington, D.C. to have a tariff policy, to start, stop the rhetoric and negotiate the USMCA so that our industries can thrive here.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer, it's always great to see you. Thank you for your time, as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you for being a morning person.
Yeah, that really helps. If we're ever in a pinch, can we call you real quick?
Yeah, I've been coming to this conference for a while. Some of these folks, they can't even open their eyes for another 4 hours.
Yeah, we've seen that. It's a quiet parlor here this morning. Governor, thank you for your time, as always.
Thank you.
We appreciate you very much.
And then the news yesterday, a little later on in the day, that she was not going to run for president.
Nope.
Here in 2028, which, she has been maintaining for some time. I have been one of the folks out there that have completely ignored that. I didn't think that was true at all, but she came out and put the kibosh on it.
Well, she says she plans to take some time after she leaves office before deciding on her next move.
But
she would not be a part of the group running.
That's what she said.
Is that what she said?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So maybe a little bit of both there. Maybe maybe in the next 7 months she takes a little bit of time and goes, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go ahead and run.
Listen,
I don't know.
don't they say that women, can
Anything
change their
is
mind?
possible.
They can change their mind.
Anything
they have
is
the right
possible.
to change their
More
mind.
next on JR Morning.
Hi, friend. Bill Golling here. And during our Declaration of Deals sales event, all new Rams also come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This May, Chrysler employees with loyalty can lease a 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for only $269 a month. Leases for 27 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down, with only tax, title, and plates being extra. So come see us at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, or our newest location on Mac in Detroit, or always at Golling.com.
Listen for the SAE Ion Engineering every Monday morning on JR Morning. Ion Engineering is sponsored by CSP, the Composite Solutions Partner, an industry leader in lightweighting and advanced composites. Learn more at thecsp.com.
Spring shouldn't be a struggle to breathe. May is Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. And with nearly 1 million Michiganders affected, it's time to take control. Visit aafamich.org for local resources and management tips to help you breathe easier.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it, because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. The U.S. and Tehran have reached a tentative deal to extend the current ceasefire by 60 days after days of back and forth strikes.
Just yesterday, the U.S. intercepted 5 one-way attack drones launched by Iran and destroyed a 6th drone as it was about to launch. In return, Iran launched ballistic missiles and a drone at Kuwait, seemingly targeting a U.S. military base there.
Fox's Jeff Paul, the agreement still needs the president's signature. Rail service in and out of New York City paralyzed after an Amtrak train caught fire in a tunnel.
5 railroad employees reportedly hurt. Fire officials say an engine on an Amtrak train went up in flames. 2 of the injured employees are in serious condition. All New Jersey Transit, Long Island Railroad, and Amtrak train lines into Penn Station currently suspended.
Fox's Todd Pyro, America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
Westbound 696 after the Lodge. Still have that crash taking up the right lane. Accident's been moved off to the right shoulder on northbound 75 at Springwells. Westbound M59 at M53. 2 right lanes are closed for construction till 9 a.m. this morning. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Sunshine today with a high of 83. Right now it's 50. Clear skies tonight and a low of 52. Sunny and cooler tomorrow, high of 70. Sunshine for Sunday, high of 76. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
The ultimate fan experience. COSM is coming to Detroit. Go beyond the screen for live sports, movies, art, and entertainment without ever leaving your seat. When you can't be there, be at COSM.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal, book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Metro Cars is currently seeking professional independent contractor elite luxury sedan drivers. This opportunity is ideal for individuals who value professionalism, flexibility, and delivering a high level of service. Applicants must be 23 or older with a clean driving record, a clean criminal background, no exceptions, and a commitment to exceptional customer care. For more than 35 years, Metro Cars has been a trusted transportation provider for executives, business travelers, and organizations across Michigan. Qualified candidates are encouraged to visit the Metro Cars corporate office at 24957 Brest Road in Taylor for open interviews. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., no appointment necessary. Additional information is available by calling 734-235-0750. Drive with a company known for professionalism, reliability, and experience. Metro Cars.
Stay here for All Talk with Kevin Dietz at 9. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
All right, here we go again. Another federal versus state showdown, this time between the federal government and the state of California. Politics, money, a lot of questions about fairness. Can a state just take federal money? Can they tax you 100%? Well, that's what Governor Gavin Newsom is saying out in California, that if you get money from this anti-weaponization fund, California is going to tax you 100% on it, which would basically cancel out any money, that you would get. Tanya J. Powers, our Fox News contributor and WJR contributor, is following this story for us this morning and joins us. Tanya, good morning. Good to have you back. Where do we stand on this?
Well, you pretty much summed it up. Newsom says he does want to put a 100% tax on any payments anybody in his state receives from that fund. There are some efforts also underway in New York and New Jersey from Democratic state lawmakers that are kind of the same, in the same vein. So he's not the only one that has been kind of alluding to this or making noise about it.
I'm just wondering how the argument, because the president calls it restitution for people who are weaponized against the federal government. Critics call it a slush fund. I'm just wondering, how that argument is playing politically with voters outside, just those hardcore, bases, those partisan bases.
Yeah, well, there have been some Democrats and some Republicans that have actually questioned whether this fund is even legal, as well as the part of the settlement that does it forever bars the IRS from auditing past tax claims by Trump, his relatives, his businesses. There's that part is also getting a lot of questions. I'm not sure it's getting talked about as much. The part of the deal that says the IRS can never, ever investigate him, his family, his businesses, anybody, to do with him, basically. There has even been Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who has been, of course, more outspoken lately. He said the fund could potentially compensate someone who assaulted a police officer, admitted their guilt, got convicted, got pardoned, and now we're going to pay them for that. That's absurd. Because, remember, a lot of the people who are expected to file, claims with this fund are expected to be, January 6th defendants. Trump pardoned more than 1,500 of those defendants last year. Some of the people who fall into that category have, talked about how they, will apply for some of the money in this. It's also of note that those folks, pleaded guilty, were found guilty by juries, that kind of thing. Some of them, were sentenced to jail or prison. I mean, there was the legal system, played out as far as those cases went. But yeah, there's been a lot of talk on both sides of the aisle, of course, as you would imagine.
Yeah.
There's been about, I think over 70 people. I haven't seen the exact number, but about 70 people from what I could find that were from the state of California that were convicted as a result of what happened on January 6th. So it's not like it's a tremendous amount of people, but I guess my question is a state able to override federal money like this? Like, let's just hypothetically say that this is going to go through and they're going to be able to make these payments, whatever. Can a state just take that money? I mean, California is dealing with a pretty significant budget shortfall at this point.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure is the short answer. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really speak to whether that is something that the state can do or not. Good question. I think that's the one everybody would like to know the answer to. Can he really do that?
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a either or. I think it's a both and. I mean, meaning that this fight is, maybe about policy, but also about, two potential 2028 rivals kind of shaping the next national political battle,
Well, I mean, in theory, it was just the one because Trump can't run again.
Right, true.
but whoever his backed candidate, kind of would be. Yeah, that's not lost on a lot of folks either. Is the political, I mean, all of this kind of boils down to be political if you think about it, because like you said, Newsom is a potential 2028 Democratic candidate. I don't think it would surprise anybody if he announced a run at some point, and said that, okay, he's going to throw his hat in the ring. But yeah, you're exactly right when you're kind of like describe the factions that are at war, so to speak, with this.
Yeah.
Tanya J. Powers, always appreciate the time. Thank you. We'll talk again soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. I would even take it a step further. Tanya can't because she's a respected journalist.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom's going to run for president. I mean, in every
man.
poll, he's leading any potential candidate at this point. So this is certainly about political posturing. It's about pushing back against Donald Trump. The Democratic voters want Democrats to push back against Donald Trump. This I feel like would be the answer to that, at least in this particular case. So interesting. When Donald Trump announced that he was going to start disclosing some information about UAPs, UFOs.
Yes. You got excited, didn't you?
People like me were very excited about it. And about a month after that, the White House had purchased the domain of aliens.gov. Very excited. Yesterday, the White House sent out a couple of teasers on social media. Crop circles?
Yeah.
So it was sounded like an overhead chopper.
It did.
View with big spotlights down on a field.
Yeah.
And in the field, it had a crop circle that said loading on it. Then there were some other teasers that looked like your standard run-of-the-mill UFO. Disc, little bulb on top with light coming out of the bottom.
Yes.
Right? Well, then turns out aliens.gov, as that was released, was about illegal aliens and the immigration policies that the administration has put in place. One of the lines that was in the video and on the website: for 60 years, the U.S. government has kept a closely guarded secret. Aliens have been walking among us, living in our neighborhoods, and interacting with us in our daily lives. They've shopped in the same stores, attended same classes as our children, and live seemingly normal human existence. With one exception, they do not belong here.
Wow.
I still want the UAP files,
You want the real deal.
Give me that stuff. That's the stuff I want.
Several artists have dropped out of the Freedom 250 concert on the National Mall in D.C., celebrating America's 250th birthday. The artists who publicly withdrew from the lineup are citing concerns about the event's political ties. They don't want to be associated with one political side or the other, and so they're dropping out. Now,
I had read that some of these artists were like security concerns.
That as well.
As a reason that they weren't going.
That as well. Now, I mean, Young MC. Young MC, people probably, our listeners may not know who Young MC is. He had a song called Bust the Move, and he wrote...
Great song.
Yeah, and he wrote Wild Thing for Tone Loc, So, yeah, he says no. Morris Day and the Time, no, we're not coming.
But they were coming.
They were coming, but now they're not coming. Some of these people say they didn't know that they were supposed to
They
play.
were booked?
Yeah. Martina McBride.
Talk to your team.
The Commodores. Brett Michaels. Nope. And Milli Vanilli, who were never contacted and were shocked to see their name on the bill. Milli Vanilli. First of all, Milli Vanilli was fake because they're not the real people who sang the songs. It was somebody else.
Okay.
And one half of Milli Vanilli is dead.
All right.
So, I don't know where. I don't know. It's,
And they are constructing the UFC ring at the White House.
I saw that.
There's big over kind of like arches that are crossing. Looks like a big arcade claw machine game.
Yeah.
So they're starting that process as well.
I don't even know who's on that card, but it must be something big if it's being held at the White House.
It's a big deal. I mean, Donald Trump friends with Dana White, who owns the UFC.
I mean, there you go.
Certainly. 7:44, time for Automotive Views with Mike Martinez. It's brought to you by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation. Learn more at michiganbusiness.org.
Chrysler's no longer on life support. Stellantis said this week the historic brand, which in recent years has been reduced to a single product, will get some much-needed investment as part of a new company-wide business plan. That involves updating the Pacifica minivan, as well as adding 3 new crossovers by 2030. 2 of those 3 new crossovers will be priced under $30,000. With the new products, Stellantis aims to grow Chrysler's volume by 60% to about 225,000 vehicles in 2030. It's all part of an aggressive plan that includes multiple new products for the North American market, including new Ram compact and midsize pickups and an entry-level Dodge that executives liken to a better version of the Hornet. There's been some conjecture that Stellantis might abandon underperforming brands. It's refreshing to see the international automaker recognize Chrysler's value here in the U.S. and give it the money to succeed. For this week's Automotive View, I'm Mike Martinez with Automotive News.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement, Sunday afternoons at 2. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Meadowbrook Theater invites you to Always a Bridesmaid from the writers of The Golden Girls and Kingdom Come. On the night of their senior prom, Libby, Ruth, Deidre, Monette, and Charlie promise that they'll be bridesmaids at one another's wedding, no matter what. Now, more than 30 years later, these Southern gals are still making the long walk for each other, determined to honor that vow. for better or for worse. It takes on a whole new meaning in this delicious comedy about old friends. For tickets, call 248-377-3300. That's 248-377-3300 or visit Ticketmaster.com. See Always a Bridesmaid at Meadowbrook Theater through June 21st. Meet Mount Pleasant and discover adventure around every corner. Tee off at one of the area's championship golf courses and end the night in downtown Mount Pleasant, filled with great dining and nightlife. Visit meetmtp.com and discover all that Central Michigan has to offer. Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen Sundays at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. Sponsored by Must Construction Careers. Learn more at mustcareers.org.
The biggest holidays call for the biggest savings. And right now, you can save 30% during the Gardner White Memorial Day sale. Fresh styles, new arrivals, and 30% off everything you need to refresh your home. Save on brands like FlexSteel, Cindy Crawford Home, Daniels Amish, True & Jonathan Home, and more. Plus, with no interest financing and free same-day delivery, saying yes has never been easier. Don't miss the Gardner White Memorial Day sale on now.
Small business owners, does your bank get your life? Does it let you switch from your personal to your business account with a tap? Or let you give your CPA direct access? We do. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Facing production swings or a tough skills gap? Workforce Solutions from Express Employment Professionals makes hiring easier. Find your local office and see how Express can help you hire smarter and faster for contract and full-time jobs. Visit ExpressPros.com.
One accident on the roads right now, southbound 75 at 696. It's off to the right shoulder. Slow travel on eastbound 94 between 275 and Wayne Road. And eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper. Heads up beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close till 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Beauty of a morning, plenty of dry pavement around, and a good-looking day today. Good-looking weekend. 85, we're close to it with sunshine today. Tonight, mainly clear. And dropping back to about 55 in town. Suburbs will be a tad cooler. And a front goes through, a cold front, northeast breeze tomorrow behind it. We will be cooler with sunshine, low 70s. On Sunday, a little milder, sunshine, upper 70s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
You know, the topic up at Mackinac this year was trying to find common ground, the quest for common ground. And, while all three county executives are Democrats, they have their disagreements at times, but they do still find ways to work together, and it was good to catch up with them. All right, we're in trouble, Lloyd.
We got the big three.
They've arrived.
The big three.
Warren Evans, Dave Coulter, Mark Hackle. Fellas, it's nice to see you.
Good to be seeing you. Good to be here.
You guys are island ready. Look at you. It's a wonderful time up here on Mackinac Island, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, no.
It's wonderful, and it's a lot of work. I want your viewers to know. We're getting business done up here.
No doubt.
But there's no better place to do it.
You guys have been working collaboratively for a long time. What do you think, or what would you like to see other leaders around the state take from your relationships?
The fact that we collectively all move forward, I think, is something. I mean, we have our differences, but policy issues are policy issues, and congeniality is the name of the game. We start out talking, being friends, working through stuff, and it filters down to our staffs too. So they talk to each other very well. I think that's, I think it's a big part of it.
Yeah, and I think each one of these guys understand the same thing. We didn't get elected to admire problems. Our job is to try to figure out how do we solve problems. And so to do that, we got to set aside any differences that we might have, collectively come together because we compete with other regions around the globe. And so we realize this region is a powerful region economically for the state and even on a national level. So with that being said, we got to set aside any personal differences we have, which we really don't. But with that mindset is always focused on how do we collectively work together to try to figure out how to be more competitive and bring those assets back to Southeast Michigan.
Do you think that the common ground is easier to achieve at the county level because you guys are so close to the day-to-day operations?
Probably, yeah. Our issues don't tend to be about international issues or really politically divisive issues that you hear in Lansing. So a lot of our stuff is just get stuff done. Roads and infrastructure and public health and those things tend to be a little bit more bipartisan, and where we have a lot of areas that we have a lot of interest and commonality in. So I do think it is. That's why I love county government. It's the best job I've ever had, because even the political divide on my legislature, we get stuff done together. Often unanimously, and so I do think it's easier to find common ground.
Mr. Evans, you have said, this is your phrase, that collaboration is the new currency.
I think it is. Yeah.
Explain that.
If in tough times, economic times and other things, the collaboration gets stuff done. Now, what I think we do, and I'm kind of bragging about all of us, not just we manage the process, whether it's our roads or other sorts of things, to get the job done. We've all kind of streamlined operations. We are working towards our own internal goals of getting better and better. And the more you collaborate with each other, you get an added benefit. It's been very helpful over the years. Mark and I go back so far, just relationship-wise. We both come from law enforcement. We've both been county executives for multiple terms. And Dave has been a breath of fresh air and been a more cohesive part of this in the last 2 terms, and so I just think we do a lot better collectively.
I think the vibe this year is right, because we are in order to fix some of our shortcomings, you gotta acknowledge them first, and so the fact that we're getting leaders in the political realm, business leaders, understanding, okay, well, hold on, if we continue down this path, patting ourselves on the back isn't going to solve literally anything. So we need to take the steps to make sure that we are putting out that fire in the proverbial house. How do you feel at the county level, some of the perceived dysfunction up top? How does that trickle down to you, and then how does that impact the way that you run your house?
I think there's more focus on politics, the higher it goes, whether it's the state level and or the federal level. And I say that because, there seems to be this interest to push whoever it is, whether it's a gubernatorial candidate, whether it's somebody who's the president, to kind of represent a party. And the reality is they should set that aside, because you represent the entire state of Michigan as a governor. You represent the country as a president. We recognize we represent the entire county, everybody, all walks of life. The minute we get elected, it doesn't matter whether we get elected as a Republican or a Democrat. Our job is to represent each of those municipalities within, in my case, Macomb County. That's 27 unique, distinct municipalities that have various interests, various needs, and a whole variety of different people. So the reality is, I go out there leading with my politics. I go lead with whatever the issues are that we need to resolve. And as Warren had mentioned, our backgrounds are law enforcement. Dave had a unique perspective of being a mayor of Ferndale, and so he was kind of from that local perspective. And as a county, we realized, okay, what is a county? If you really think about it, kind of obscure if you kind of really look at that and you realize, wait a minute, it's 27 municipalities that we represent, to try to figure out how do we lift each and every one of them up to help them make themselves better, but allow them to be unique in the ways that they're looking to be unique. So, it's I think each and every one of us come to that realization. We represent something bigger than ourselves, and each day we move forward, set our personal differences aside, and try to do just that.
I would add just this too. It's not just that we're collaborative people who get along, but I think we're reflective of where the people are in the region. People want collaboration. I hear it all the time. So the old days were the partisanship, even within the region, and the back and forth fighting and the arguing. People are tired of that. My voters, and I think it's the case in both the other counties as well, we're the reason we can be like this, because they're not looking. I know they talk about people want fighters and people want rabble rousers, but my sense from the voters that put me here, they want me to get stuff done. They want me to get along with these guys. They want us to be a region that's more cohesive. So we can't overlook that. It's not just us personalities. Sure. I think the people were ready to put some of that division behind. Let's erase the 8 mile borderline metaphysically and get stuff done together. It really does come, I think, from the people that put
we
us
really
in.
need a standing time with these guys. There's a million things we could talk about. We appreciate you taking some time on the island. Thank you very much.
and the best moving forward. We'll talk again soon.
And pass the road millage in Wayne County.
That's right.
How about that?
That's right.
How about that? And Selfridge.
Tell Jamie we said hi. Hope she's doing
Transit.
well.
We
Yes,
will.
yes, sir.
We will.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Big insurance, big pharma, big utilities. As Attorney General, Mike Cox beat them all, saving Michigan seniors and taxpayers billions. As governor, Mike Cox will take the fight to radical big government liberals by eliminating the income tax, dozing state government, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, and getting prices down. He beat them before. He'll do it again. Marine, homicide prosecutor, Attorney General, Mike Cox for governor. Paid for by Mike Cox 2026.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses one pair at a time with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple and West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA, OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
The Fox News Rundown, 5 to 6 a.m. Everything you need to start your day on 760 WJR.
Hi, it's Dave Lorenz. The key to a great getaway is to know a bit about the place and to leave plenty of opportunity for discovery. We'll show you the way on the Michigan Travel Show. Sundays at 4 on 760 WJR.
Wow, Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $331 million. Play Mega Millions at your Michigan Lottery retailer or online at MichiganLottery.com.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
It's still not a done deal. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A plan that President Trump has not signed off on yet to extend the Iran ceasefire for 60 days. Vice President Vance tells reporters Iran wants a deal.
And they want to open the Straits of Hormuz. We want them to open the Straits of Hormuz. There are a couple of issues on the nuclear stuff, the highly enriched stockpile, and also the question of enrichment.
Fox's Jeff Paul reports from Dubai.
This feels like this is the closest we have been to seeing the U.S. and Iran agree to a deal since the start of the war. But in another sense, we've sort of been here before where a deal feels imminent and then nothing happens. And complicating matters this time, this recent back and forth between the U.S. and Iran.
Referencing U.S. military shooting down Iran drones that targeted a commercial ship and attacking boats laying mines in Iran, targeting a U.S. base in Kuwait. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is warning that Russia is preparing another major attack. Hours after a Russian drone fired at Ukraine crossed into Romania, hitting an apartment building, causing a fire that left 2 people injured. Romania, in response, is asking NATO for more anti-drone weaponry. A massive fireball lit up Cape Canaveral in Florida last night.
The Blue Origin rocket exploding during a test of its engines. A static fire engine test is when the rocket's engines are ignited and they run at full thrust, but the vehicle is unable to go anywhere during the test. The rocket was uncrewed, and thankfully no one on the ground nearby was hurt.
That's Fox's Marianne Rafferty. Blue Origin CEO Jeff Bezos says they don't know yet what went wrong, but will rebuild. A California 8th grader, W-O-N, the Scripps National Spelling Bee.
Chikungunya. CHIKUNGUNYA. Bromocryptine. BROMOCRIPTINE. Kashaw. CUSHAW.
14-year-old Shrey Parikh correctly spelled 32 words in 90 seconds in a final round spell-off, 7 more than the runner-up. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
Southbound 75 at 696. It crashes off to the right shoulder. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harbor beginning tonight at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close until 5 a.m. on Monday. Westbound M59 and M53, 2 right lanes are closed for construction for about another hour. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like Detroit Power Systems are powering Michigan's future, project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. Sunshine today with a high of 83. Right now it's 51. Clear skies tonight and a low of 52. Sunny and cooler tomorrow, high of 70. Sunshine for Sunday, high of 76. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR, traffic and weather first.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. You can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement, Sunday afternoons at 2. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Don't miss All Talk as Kevin Dietz presents the 2026 Pure Michigan Golf Tour Wednesday, June 3rd, live from the Country Club of Boyne at the Highlands in Harbor Springs. Sponsored by Boyne Golf, home to Michigan's Magnificent 11. Visit BoyneGolf.com.
No matter where you look, rising costs are hitting Michiganders hard. When you're forced to make tough choices, keeping the lights and heat on shouldn't be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy saving programs, you can take steps to start reducing your energy bills today. Count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
It's another JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds on 760 WJR and streaming on WJR.com, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, it is going to be an incredible weekend here in Detroit.
Yay!
The Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear is back.
In the streets of the city.
Absolutely. It's where it should be. And the 1.7-mile street course is now in a fourth year. Back in the city. I absolutely love it.
I do too. And, you know, Belle Isle was nice while it was there, but it's nothing like having it go through the city, around the buildings and the little areas, and I mean the turns and the bumps in the road.
Yeah,
it's a difference.
Well, and it's really cool when you see the contrast of last weekend at the Indy 500.
Yeah,
and then to a street course. For people who might not watch a ton of racing, it's very different. The strategy is completely different.
And the drivers tell you they have to. They prepare different. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just a different.
Because it's one thing going around an oval.
Right.
You really get that puppy moving.
Yes.
But it's a little different here. So you're not going to see quite the top speeds that you see at Indy.
No.
But you're going to see a lot more precision driving, which I like more.
Yeah.
I like these sharp hairpin turns. I like getting these cars around tight spaces when there's a lot of traffic in that area. That's the stuff that's exciting.
And believe it or not, that, your car has to be in tip-top shape.
Sure.
But you, as the driver, have to be in tip-top shape as well, because you're handling those curves, and that's strenuous on your arms. You have to be, really strong as well.
Absolutely. Last year, Kyle Kirkwood won the 2025
Yes.
Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear. And he was with Andretti Racing, so that was good for them. Hoping for a Penske winner here. That would be very
That'd
nice.
be nice.
But it's also free day down there.
Free pre.
And lots of different opportunities for, and look, it's great for families too.
Oh my God. It's so great. And and the drivers, a lot of times the dads and moms bring their kids and the kids get to meet the drivers. It's a big deal, man, for these kids,
Bring the noise canceling headphones for the little ones though. Because
Definitely
it does get a little loud down there. But you can feel it.
Oh man, it's through your bones.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's absolutely awesome. And then 12:30 Sunday is the official race, and it's going to be really fun. We're going to talk to Jim Campbell, GM's Vice President of Performance and Motorsports, and that's coming up at 8:19. Meanwhile, yesterday, as we were leaving Mackinac Island, we saw the news that there was a MOU put in place, a memorandum of understanding between the United States and the regime in Iran. And what does that mean? What's in this memorandum of understanding? Well, there's a couple of different things. It's a 60-day ceasefire extension to pause fighting. All right, we're kind of in that mode now anyway. But it's going to create a broader peace plan, hopefully. That's what they're hoping for.
Uh-huh.
It would bring a stabilization to the conflict, although that is not what this is. Iran has maintained that they want to stop to the war, then they'll talk about the nuclear. But that hasn't really jived with the United States and Donald Trump's positioning. They also need to remove the mines in the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days. They won't impose tolls, they being Iran and Oman in this case. And the United States will lift their blockade. Other sanctions will be removed as well. And this was something that was talked a little bit yesterday with Scott Bessent, particularly about the sanctions.
Nothing is going to be on the table until we see the Strait of Hormuz open and the Iranians agree that they have to turn over the highly enriched uranium and that they can't have a nuclear program.
But that's not part of this deal. That's something that's going to come
down the
afterwards.
line
So
a little bit.
It's a deal that leads to a deal, but this isn't the deal that we've been talking about.
No, and Iran likes to kick the can down the road, and it seems like this is what they're doing. My thing is, the ceasefire was already a little fragile. If this is signed and we go with this memorandum of understanding, is there a possibility that the U.S. could have defensive strikes like they've had before?
Mm-hmm.
Could that happen, in between? I mean, it's still kind of fragile to me.
It's essentially a pause to figure out a deal later. And that's kind of, that's what Iran wants. That's what they've maintained. They've maintained the position of let's stop the war. Let's go to a deal. But so you do play into that a little bit if that's really what this is.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's the give and take at this point.
Gas prices have gone down.
Gas prices have gone down the last couple of days. The markets have reacted nicely to this news.
Yes.
The cost of a barrel of oil has dropped. So it is good news. It does bring a little bit of financial relief.
Sure.
But we're still not at the finish line yet.
No. Governor Whitmer says she will not run for president in 2028. Speaking at the Mackinac Policy Conference, the term-limited governor says she expects the crowded presidential field, but she says she won't be part of it. The governor says once she leaves office, she plans to take some time before deciding her next move, adding that she wants to continue making an impact, but isn't rushing into another role. Now, Governor Whitmer has long been mentioned as a possible White House contender. She was considered as Joe Biden's running mate in 2020 before he selected Kamala Harris for that second position. Now, something else. House Republican leader Matt Hall pushing for a big deal bipartisan agreement at the Mackinac Policy Conference. He wants to bundle massive GOP-backed property tax cuts with Democratic spending priorities. That includes funding for university buildings and key tax incentives sought by billionaire Dan Gilbert's firm to redevelop the Renaissance Center. But Senate Democrat leader Winnie Brinks is pushing back, calling the multi-billion-dollar Republican tax plan irresponsible and half-baked. Brinks says any final budget must instead protect funding for childcare, school meals, and lower-income families.
She says she told us yesterday when we were on the island that she didn't even think that there was a full itemized list to go through yet.
No, right.
So that is certainly not over, but I appreciate Matt Hall trying to reach across the aisle. And
he said that, he tries to do that, and him and the governor have done it. When it came to the road funding, he said, we're trying to do as much as we can together.
And that's fine. And if that leads to some sort of results, then
So be it.
good bipartisan work is a good thing. Perry Johnson's on the ballot too.
Yeah, the Board of State Canvassers voted to place Perry Johnson on the August primary ballot, despite allegations that his campaign altered petition signature sheets after signatures were collected. The bipartisan board said they couldn't act on an affidavit tied to the accusations because the document was not formally before them during yesterday's meeting. Johnson submitted more than 22,000 valid signatures, well above the required threshold. Meanwhile, Republican candidate Ralph Reband was disqualified after election officials determined he did not have enough ballot signatures to qualify. Reband says he plans to challenge the decision in court. Democrat Kim Thomas, Republican U.S. Senate hopeful Bernadette Smith were also denied spots on the ballot.
Interesting.
And Michigan Democratic U.S. Senate candidates met at Mackinac yesterday in a mostly cordial debate. U.S. Representative Haley Stevens, State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and former health official Abdul El Sayed outlined competing visions on key issues. The candidates clashed over the influence of pro-Israel group AIPAC, approaches to artificial intelligence regulation, and how to best address rising health costs. Stevens emphasized economic competitiveness and manufacturing. McMorrow focused on policy reforms and affordability. Al Sayed pushed a more progressive agenda, including Medicare for all. Al Sayed also criticized the absence of a dedicated health care question in the debate. All three are competing in the August primary to replace retiring Senator Gary Peters.
I'm glad you were manning that story. I just spilled water all over myself. So I'm glad.
Well, keep the water away from the electricity. Now. We don't want any conduits.
No electronics were harmed in the spilling of this water.
Okay.
And by the way, there shouldn't be any water spilling downtown this weekend for the race because it looks like an absolutely gorgeous weekend for the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear. Coming up on the other side, Jim Campbell of GM. He's the VP of Performance and Motorsports. We're talking racing next on JR Morning.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code Champion25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code Champion25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code Champion25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm here with Greg Ayler, host of Expedition Retirement. Greg, you say the advisor that got you to retirement may not be the person to get you through retirement. Why?
The financial advisors, they're the ones that focus on grow, and investment selection. When they get to the top, there's a whole plethora of new issues that they have to attack that financial advisor usually isn't equipped to tackle.
Expedition Retirement, Sundays at 5 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Your new streaming home for everything Tigers baseball is Detroit Sportsnet, presented by Bet365. Watch every play, every night. Because here in the D, Tigers baseball is every game matters baseball. It's you can't look away baseball. Tigers have come all the way back. Sign up today at Tigers.tv and get Tigers baseball now, plus Red Wings hockey starting this fall. That's an incredible play. This is the future of Detroit sports. Sign up now at Tigers.tv. MLB trademarks used with permission.
Welcome to Making the Impossible Possible with Henry Ford Health. And with us today is Jacqueline Morgan, manager of the Clara Ford Nursing Excellence Program. Jacqueline, nurses spend their lives caring for others. Tell us what Henry Ford Health is doing to support them.
I'm a nurse myself, and I'm proud to lead the Clara Ford Nursing Excellence Program, which epitomizes our system's belief that nurses are the heart of healthcare and deserve investment in leadership. Our focus is on leadership residency programs and participation in an annual nursing conference.
Excellent. Can you share why the focus is on leaders specifically, though?
Sure. Investing in leadership is essential because strong nurse leaders sustain the workforce, reinforce excellence, improve team member retention, and directly shape the quality and safety of patient care. When nursing leaders are supported, nurses remain engaged, teams perform better, and patients experience better outcomes.
That's great. How is the program funded?
Thanks to their generosity, Cynthia and Edsel Ford are continuing Clara's legacy of supporting nurses and her belief that exceptional care is built on strong nurses, and strong nurses are a result of an intentional investment in professional development. This all directly impacts our mission, which is to improve lives. The generosity of donors like Cynthia and Edsel Ford help make that mission a reality.
To make a gift, visit henryford.com/above and beyond.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Northbound 75 after 9 Mile. We have an accident off to the left shoulder. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close till 5 a.m. on Monday. Westbound M59 at M53. 2 right lanes closed till 9 a.m. this morning. And many closures headed into downtown area because of the Grand Prix. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by University of Michigan, dedicated to putting research into action, from bringing Braille into the digital world to warming newborns without electricity and working to build a stronger Great Lakes economy. Learn more at umich.edu/look. This message is sponsored by the University of Michigan's Michigan Creative. Here's your forecast.
A sunny and warm Friday. Front will come through overnight with limited, actually no precipitation. Let's make that. And we'll see some pleasant weather for the upcoming weekend. Clear to start. Sunshine may mix with a few high clouds today, about 85. Tonight, clear and 55. Suburbs will be just a tad cooler. Sun back cooler tomorrow with an east-northeast breeze, low 70s. And a beautiful Sunday coming up, sunshine, upper 70s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
I'm Kevin Dietz. Coming up on All Talk, we'll be live from the Detroit Grand Prix as it roars back onto the streets of the city with thousands of fans expected along the riverfront. We'll have live coverage all morning with everything you need to know as Detroit continues building itself into a world-class sports and entertainment destination. All Talk is 9 to noon. You can stream us anytime at WJR.com.
You said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me. And a moment came that stopped me.
That is Tim McGraw, and this is WJR's Tim McGraw VIP Experience. Your chance to rock when country music legend Tim McGraw brings his Pawn Show Guitar Tour to Pine Knob Music Theater August 28th. You could win a pair of premium pavilion tickets, transportation, courtesy of Metro Cars, and $100 to Buddy's Pizza. To enter, download the free WJR mobile app, find the secret keyword, and then text it to 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. More information is at WJR.com. Almost got to the chorus there. I was very close. So close.
Trying to get to the post, hit the post.
I didn't want to rush it, but I almost hit the post. That's why I don't work in FM radio. Right. Always had a hard time hitting that post. I'll tell you what, it's going to be an unbelievable weekend downtown. The Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear is back. And somebody who has a huge hand in this is Jim Campbell, GM's Vice President of Performance and Motorsports. And darn near almost a year into your gig, this is a pretty good one to have. What a weekend it is.
It is fantastic. Great to be with both of you. And this is a huge weekend. We look forward to it all year long. And it's a team effort from everybody at General Motors, huge commitment that we've had for 14 years working with everybody at the Detroit Grand Prix, including Roger Penske, Bud Danker, Michael Montroy, all the volunteers, along with City Council supporting this. It's an absolute team effort to bring world-class racing right here to Detroit with 3 different series of the run, with practice and some qualifying today and Friday. We'll have a couple races on Sunday and one on Saturday. It's going to be a great weekend.
You know, and the course runs through downtown streets around Hart Plaza, the spirit of Detroit. How unique, Jim, is it for drivers and teams to race on an actual city street circuit compared to a traditional racetrack?
Yeah, it is unique. There's only in the North America, there's only 5 locations where they run city street courses, and so we're one of the 5. 1.7 miles, about 9 turns, It's very it's tight racing, it's technical racing, but it's very rare in the world to have a city street race. But what's great about it is it's really accessible to everybody here in the city and in our overall community here in Southeast Michigan. And as you probably have heard, about half of the track is free to the public, so there's no charge. You can just come to the races and check out all the amazing racing on track. And there's a lot to do for families as well in the area, but we love it. And one thing it's great. We drive down Jefferson Avenue west, most days. And on race day in IndyCar on Sunday, we run a Chevrolet 2.2 liter direct injected twin turbo V6 from Chevy, and the drivers will be getting up to sixth gear, about 185 miles an hour going down Jefferson.
Wow.
When they get up near Griswold, they're going to get hard on the brakes, downshift to second gear, then first gear. They'll do a hairpin turn, and they'll go back east on Jefferson, and then they're going to look for Bates. They have a sweeping right turn down Bates, and they'll go down behind the Renaissance Center along the Detroit River, and they'll finish their lap. There is nothing like it when you see these Indy cars running down Jefferson and around this course. Nothing like it. It's going to be great.
And for a lot of people, even for people like me, the oohs and ahs of these vehicles, right? They're absolutely spectacular. But you look at what you guys are doing behind the scenes on the motorsport side of things. I mean, there's a lot of artificial intelligence being used to make sure that you're optimizing the aerodynamics of these vehicles, the performance modeling across all the variations, but even the radio chatter, all of the elements that go into a successful race. You guys are using incredible technology to make sure that the teams are the best equipped that they can be, and the drivers are up to date on all of the information that they need in a second.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it, and you really captured it. In racing, we used to learn about components on the racetrack and then take those learnings and apply it to our production vehicles for the showroom. But today, a lot of the learning does take place in the tools that we use to prepare, design, and engineer these race cars, whether it's CFD to develop our aerodynamic solutions for a particular race series like IndyCar or IMSA series with Cadillac or Corvette. And then we use artificial intelligence over that to quickly optimize what is the best aerodynamic solution. We also do an immense amount of simulation because there's very little testing in racing anymore. And so we use simulation, these big simulators that are maybe the size of a garage with these massive 180-degree screens and a moving platform for the driver to be in like a cockpit to simulate actual lap. And so the drivers that are racing here this weekend have already raced it in the simulator in our Chevrolet simulators in Charlotte, North Carolina, and other places around the world. And so we use all those tools. We have a tire modeling, which is really important to simulation, lightweighting of parts. The list goes on. And so it's very exciting on how we can use racing with these really important tools that we also use in our production vehicles. And it makes us better on the production side using those tools that have been honed in racing.
And, Jim, Detroit has fought hard over the years to reshape its national image. And when you have millions of viewers see races broadcast from downtown Detroit, what message do you think the city sends to the rest of the world?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. Well, it was some of my favorite shots are the overhead shots from the helicopter where you can see this 1.7 mile, course, 9 turns. You see the beautiful, cityscape, the Detroit River, the freighters going down the river. It's wonderful. And then what I would say is on the track, for us at General Motors, Chevrolet, and Cadillac, we love to be able to race the vehicles that we develop for the showroom or the powertrains that we develop and the technologies we put in our vehicles. And so we'll have in the IMSA series, which will run on Saturday. The Corvette will be in a GTD Pro class, and it's really based on our Z06 Corvette. And that Z06 GT3R will race against Porsche, BMW, Lamborghini, Lexus, McLaren, Ford, and others. And then in the GTP class, Cadillac will race in the top class, or Cadillac V-Series.R, and we'll race against Porsche, BMW, Aston Martin, Acura. So in addition to kind of the way people view Detroit, the competition on track is going to be intense. It's going to be excellent. And we love competing. It's one of the things that racing brings, this preparation to race for the win. And when you win, it's wonderful. When you don't, you dig in, figure out why, and you go to work for the next race.
Do you find, we've seen, obviously this is IndyCar, but we've seen like F1 has become so absolutely huge, and now Cadillac getting involved in that as well. But do you find that as more of these circuits become more popular, become more globalized, that more eyeballs are going to be on the city of Detroit in this particular race this weekend?
Oh, I think so. I really do. And one thing I heard you guys talking in the earlier segment about the Indianapolis 500 last weekend. Of course, Chevrolet has, we field about half the field has Chevrolet powertrains and our support. And so that race, I think the peak TV rating for somewhere about 8 million people watched that race. So now here we are, literally, 6-7 days later, we're going to race in Detroit with all that momentum and energy and excitement that came out of the Indy 500. People are going to tune into the next chapter of IndyCar, and that'll be on Sunday. And it's going to be super exciting. So we do think that it's going to be, momentum is important here. And as you mentioned, Cadillac is also entered the Formula One, and it kind of reminds me, GM has a new world headquarters at the Hudson's Detroit site.
Yep.
And in entrance one, which is open to the public, we have examples of all of our Chevrolet and Cadillac race cars that we race around the world, including a replica of our Cadillac Formula One car, but we also have the Corvette Z060 T3R we'll race this weekend. We have a Cadillac race car and a Chevrolet Indy car that we'll race this weekend in there as well, and simulators. So the kids and the big kids can go on the simulators and try to put your best lap down in the
Oh, that's cool.
It's going to be fantastic, and we cannot wait to see all that hard work by you and your team to bring these incredible machines to the streets of downtown Detroit. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Jim Campbell at GM.
Thank you. One other item today at 12:30. The drivers that are going to be in the IndyCar Series autograph session in the Winter Garden on this free pre-day.
That's
and
great.
Thanks to Fifth Third Bank for sponsoring that. So come on down and check it out. And then Meyer has the fan zone from Spirit Plaza up to Campus Martius. Got a Chevrolet display there. Got a Cadillac display in Hart Plaza. Come down. You know what? Think about it. We were in the winter. It was cold. We wanted to get out. Now it's summer. Come down.
And now we get the opportunity. Thank you.
Everybody come down and check it out.
We appreciate you so much, Jim Campbell. We'll talk again very soon. More coming up. Jamie on the other side rejoins us. It's JR Morning.
Meet Mount Pleasant and discover adventure by choice or by chance. Float down the Chippewa River, the jewel of central Michigan, or explore over 1,500 acres of parkland and 23 nature reserves. Take a swing at one of the area's championship golf courses and experience an up-north style of golf without the long drive. Or head downtown for a night of unique dining and live music. Visit meetmtp.com to discover all that central Michigan has to offer.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement, Sunday afternoons at 2. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Don't miss All Talk as Kevin Dietz presents the 2026 Pure Michigan Golf Tour Wednesday, June 3rd, live from the Country Club of Boyne at the Highlands in Harbor Springs. Sponsored by Boyne Golf, home to Michigan's Magnificent 11. Visit BoyneGolf.com.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump still hasn't signed off on the tentative deal struck by the U.S. and Iran.
Here is what's on the table regarding the potential 60-day agreement. The Strait of Hormuz fully reopens and mines are removed within 30 days. The U.S. lifts its blockade, allowing Iran to sell oil freely. Iran agrees to not pursue a nuclear weapon, and talks begin on disposing its enriched uranium.
That's Fox's Jeff Paul in Dubai. The two-day manhunt on Hawaii's Big Island is over.
Locating the suspect concealed within a small cave on the neighboring property. The suspect, identified as Jacob Baker, male 36, was taken into custody without incident.
That's Hawaii County Police Chief Reed Mahuna. Cops accused Baker of killing 3 elderly men. America's listening to Fox News.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Northbound 75 after 9 miles. Still have that crash off to the left shoulder. Accident on the right shoulder of westbound 94 at Moross. And then eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close till 5 a.m. on Monday for construction. Westbound M59 at M53. 2 right lanes closed there till 9 a.m. this morning. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like Dan Bois, Mechanical and Electrical, are powering Michigan's future, project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. Sunshine today with a high of 83. Right now it's 53. Clear skies tonight, low of 52. Sunny, cooler tomorrow, high of 70. Then sunshine on Sunday, high of 76. I'm Renee Vitale, WJR, traffic and weather first.
Club Keno is 3 times more fun with tripler time. For a limited time, you can double or triple your non-jackpot prizes. Tripler time, only from the Michigan Lottery. Join Jack Razula every Saturday night at 10 p.m. for Anything is Possible. Hear Jack present uplifting stories of some of the world's most remarkable people and their extraordinary life journeys. Anything is Possible. Sponsored in part by Ideal Group. We are Ideal.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509 or biglou.com.
I'm here with Greg Ayler, host of Expedition Retirement. Greg, you say when you get near retirement, the issues become more complicated than just saving and investing, such as?
What's going to happen tax-wise to my IRA? What if my spouse goes into a long-term care facility? What if the market crashes? These are the things that are the requirement and basically the backbone of every good retirement plan.
Expedition Retirement, Sundays at 5 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Paul W. Smith can be found on Focus from noon to 2 p.m. on 760 WJR. Now back to JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
Well, we had a nice time up on Mackinac Island, but we were incomplete.
We were
incomplete, and we missed Jamie very much. And a lot of folks were asking how Jamie was, and so it's nice. One of my favorite parts of the week on a Friday is we get to talk to Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Good morning.
What up, Jamie?
Hey, guys. I totally had FOMO that I didn't get to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people were noticing that we were cutting up, and they said, well, Jamie's not here. We understand why.
Right. You guys are out here acting a fool. Now we know why.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was out at an event, and I looked over and I saw this woman, and I'm like, I know her from somewhere. I couldn't place her. You know, you get into those situations where you see somebody out and you're like, I feel like I know
all
you
the time.
I just don't know.
Situations.
Yeah. And I look over and she kind of looked at me, but I kind of looked away because I wasn't sure. And then she came up afterwards. She goes, "You're Chris." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You look really familiar. I can't place you." She's like, "I'm Jamie's friend. I was the one who did the Lauren.
Okay.
From your first podcast."
From your first podcast.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's right." And so we had a couple of minutes we were chatting. So it was really nice to meet her. And you were very missed on the island. A lot of people were asking about how you were. And
Devin asked about you.
Yeah, we saw Devin Skillian and we were talking. And so we missed you. And we look forward to next year you being able to come up with us. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, thanks to everyone who asked about me up at Mackinac. And I was getting some pictures. Lauren sent me a picture of you, Chris, Lauren, and Jason Colthorpe. So that added to the FOMO.
Yes. Yeah, right. We wished you were there. But on our way back yesterday, Lloyd and I had a few hours in the car. Lloyd was sick of talking to me. Lloyd was sick of hearing about aliens or whatever I was talking about. And so we threw on your latest episode of your podcast. Yeah. And I got to tell you, it was, I absolutely love the conversation that
great.
You and Ryan had, your husband.
Yes, it really was.
I put my husband on for a reason because he's going through this too. He made it clear that it's definitely not the same as me, but it's definitely affected our family. And for the people listening, going on the journey, I think they have similar experiences with their spouse.
I mean, because caregivers, they often carry so much emotionally while trying to stay strong for that person that they love. I mean, what did you learn about Ryan, Jamie, that maybe surprised you during that conversation?
I mean, I knew most of it because we've been talking throughout this that, sometimes he's protecting me from some of the things that, I don't need to really worry about right now. He'll just take care of it. And, I could see it from my own eyes that he's stepping up and taking care of Olivia more. And all of our schedules have changed and he's doing his best to support me.
I also thought it was, it felt like it would have been hard in the moment. At one point, you were both talking about the statistics, right? It's so easy to go online and look at the numbers and
outcomes,
what I have and what does this mean and what's the and it was early on in the process that your mom was with you and she had asked the doctor had said something, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but do you want the numbers on how
the prognosis,
on how this all shakes out? And your mom was like, "Yeah, let's hear them." And your husband, Ryan, and this is why I think the partnership mattered, and that's what it came off to me as. He was like, "No, we don't need that right now. None of that matters right now."
That's right.
And so that advocacy, when you maybe were not in the place to speak up because of the shock of the situation, having that partner, having that support system there, it felt like it came through to me like that was really important in that moment.
100%. Like he knew that I had not Googled anything. I didn't want to know. I just felt like it's my case. It's my biology. They're my doctors. And I don't need to know the statistics, especially because I was so scared. So in that moment, that was like day 3 after diagnosis. My mom's like wondering about the prognosis, which I get because now I'm a mom. I would want to know everything I needed to know for my daughter. So I get where she's coming from. But my husband was like, no, we're not doing that. Not today.
Yeah.
I saw on social media too, Jamie. I think you called it the Wig Chronicles. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
How is that going? Styling and dealing with that.
Okay, so I've been very positive about my wig, Samantha. I think she's great.
Yes.
I didn't understand now you have to wash it in a basin with, a bin and certain, shampoo. And then you have to style it as if you're a stylist on a wig stand. I'm like, what is my life? What is this?
The name throws me for a loop every single time.
Samantha,
I love
Samantha.
I love the name. I absolutely love it. Also, I don't know what you guys were talking about Summer House and Bravo and Amanda and Kyle and Wes.
Yes,
I don't know
Chris.
any of these people,
Wow.
but I'll tell you, Bravo owes you some dough because I'm going to check this out. This sounds like high class drama. I got to see it.
Look, this is big in our circles and all the people that watch Bravo. So we just kind of did it for fun for us at the very end of the podcast. And Ryan and I always talked about we should have a podcast together, sports and pop culture, because those are the things we love, right? And so at the very end of this podcast, I tried to have some fun, and he and I get into some Bravo drama that's going on. There's a whole scandal. And then the Pistons off season, he broke it down.
Yes, it was great.
And Jamie, for families who are listening right now who may be going through their own health battle right now, either as a patient or a caregiver, what do you hope they take away from your conversation with Ryan?
Well, overall, I hope they're taking something away. And I've told you, I've gotten some messages from people that absolutely make it worthwhile, that some women going through this feel like they have a friend going through it. So for this episode, I think we're on episode 5 here with my husband. I hope their caregivers get something out of it, how we're navigating these really difficult times together, how we're a unit, how we check in with each other. How are you doing today? How we're trying to celebrate the wins when there are wins. And so that's the takeaway I hope for this episode. And again, overall, just, that someone else is going through it and you're not alone.
To me, it's, your relationship is the epitome of the vows that you take, for sickness and in health.
That came across too.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So we have to come up with a name for these podcasts. And Justin, our fantastic digital guy who works at WJR and Cumulus, he's like, what do you want to name it? And so we came up with In Sickness and in Health, a Husband's Perspective. That is it. I mean, your life changes on a dime, and how are you going to navigate it? Like, Dr. Steve says, how do you cope?
How are you feeling?
I mean, I feel great this week because this is the off week, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to actually do Paul's show from the Grand Prix from 12 to 2 today.
Good.
Talk about all that. And then starts the more powerful drug that is making me a little nervous. That starts on Tuesday, but I have 4 of those. So I'm definitely on the back 9 of this treatment plan.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, lots of prayers are continuing to flood into you and your family and all those that are supporting you, your doctor team and everybody. And we can't wait to listen noon to 2 today. It's going to be fantastic. Jamie on Focus.
And we love and
Smith.
we miss you, Jamie.
Yes.
I miss you guys.
We really
Thanks for letting me check in.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime. You just pop in whenever you want. You know that. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
All right, see ya. That's Jamie Edmonds. All right, we're going to take a break. Unbelievable story on the other side. If things go wrong in your life or things don't go as expected and you got to change plans, going back and finishing it is pretty powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's next on JR Morning.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here, celebrating 60 years at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This May, during our Declaration of Deals sales event, qualified Chrysler employees with lease loyalty can lease a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4 for only $399 a month. Leases for 24 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down, with only tax, title, and plates being extra. So come see all our great values at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, our newest location on Mac in Detroit, or always at Golling.com.
When people power education, we all move forward. The Skillman Foundation brings people together as a force for change, connecting students, families, and educators with policy movers to ensure real-life insights shape the future of our schools. Listen to the Skillman Foundation's show, Our State of Education, to hear what's happening in Michigan schools and what you can do to support today's children and tomorrow's leaders. Our State of Education on 760 WJR or on your favorite podcast platform.
Get answers to your retirement planning questions by joining the president of the Brzezinski Group, Brett Brzezinski, for Inside Retirement, Sunday afternoons at 2. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Quality that's delicious, that's the Guernsey difference.
It's Jamie Edmonds. There's nothing like a day at the ballpark with the Detroit Tigers. The roar of the crowd, the smell of fresh cut grass, and now the taste of something truly special. Introducing Detroit's Grand Slam ice cream from Guernsey Farms Dairy, proud partner of the Tigers. Made with rich, creamy goodness and packed with hometown flavor, it's the perfect way to celebrate every inning, every hit, every home run. Heading to the game? Make sure to grab a scoop of Guernsey right at the park during every Tigers game, because baseball isn't just America's favorite pastime, it's even better with America's favorite treat. Cool off, treat yourself, and make every Tigers moment a little sweeter with Guernsey Farms Dairy. Guernsey Farms Dairy and the Detroit Tigers teaming up to knock it out of the park.
Quality that's delicious, that's the Guernsey difference.
Discover the new menu at 5 Steakhouse located inside St. John's Resort. Indulge in our colossal shrimp cocktail and estate-level oysters, or experience the Cardinal, our signature 40-ounce dry-aged porterhouse steak, crafted for true steak lovers and carved tableside. Experience 5 Steakhouse inside St. John's Resort.
I'm Pastor Darren Weiss, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. One of the best ways we can make a difference in our community is by volunteering together. At Grace, we could use your help. Families, churches, schools, workplaces, everyone has something to offer to serve side by side and bring hope to those in need. Whether you prepare a meal or help us rehab a home, your time will have a lasting impact. It strengthens communities and brings people closer together. Call 855-HELP-GCH or go to gracecentersofhope.org.
No matter the time of the year, it's good for the mind, body, and soul to get out there. Luckily, we're in Michigan, one of the most beautiful places in the country. I'm Dave Lorenz. Join us Sunday at 4 for the Michigan Travel Show here on 760 WJR.
Spring shouldn't be a struggle to breathe. May is Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month. And with nearly 1 million Michiganders affected, it's time to take control. Visit aafamich.org for local resources and management tips to help you breathe easier.
Real good looking morning, and we've got
WJR traffic and weather first.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Westbound 94 currently closed between Merriman and Vining due to an accident. Traffic completely stopped from Telegraph. Westbound 94 at Moross, crash off to the right shoulder. Eastbound 94 between Little Mac and Harper beginning this evening at 8 o'clock. All lanes scheduled to close until 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
beauty of a morning, plenty of dry pavement around, and a good-looking day today. Good-looking weekend. 85, we're close to it with sunshine today. Tonight, mainly clear. And dropping back to about 55 in town. Suburbs will be a tad cooler. And a front goes through, a cold front, northeast breeze tomorrow behind it. We will be cooler with sunshine, low 70s. On Sunday, a little milder, sunshine, upper 70s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law, Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
So for a lot of kids, you go to high school and you leave with your college or your high school diploma.
Yeah.
You graduate from high school and you go on to college and do all kinds of things with your life.
Yeah.
It's not the case for everybody.
No, sometimes life happens.
Life happens.
Yeah.
And things happen and curveballs get thrown and you gotta boogie and dance with the things that are thrown your way.
That's right.
And this is a 50-year journey that is culminating this Sunday. Darlene Lee is 68 years old. She's a grandmother. She's a cervical cancer survivor. And she will also be the keynote speaker for the Tri-County Educational Center's graduation.
Wow.
Darlene Lee, at the age of 68, is getting her high school diploma.
That's amazing.
And Darlene Lee joins us on the other line this morning. Darlene, good morning. It's good to talk with you.
Good morning to you.
Let's go back to the Wayback Machine. Mid-70s, you're 15 years old. What happened?
I got pregnant, and I thought I knew more than what the teachers knew. That they couldn't teach me anything, so I dropped out.
And then what?
And then I had my baby at 15, going on 16. I got married at the age of 18, and I was divorced by the time I was 20. So I had 3 other kids, 3 other boys. I have 4 boys altogether.
Okay.
And I had my boys, and I got a job, went to work, found the house for me and my kids, and took it off from there.
And Darlene, for a lot of people, dropping out becomes a lifelong regret that they don't revisit? What made you decide after all this time that it was still something you wanted to come back and finish?
Well, I've always wanted to go back to school, but I had my kids and was working, and I, didn't care about the education at the time, which I regret to this day.
Mm. And when was it that you eventually decided that you wanted to go back and you wanted to pursue that degree?
4 years ago.
And what was that process like, getting back into the educational groove?
What when you first walked into the classroom, I mean, how
Right.
did that feel?
Oh boy, nervousness.
Nervousness, but you got over it. And what type of support system did you have then at that time?
I had my husband and my kids, my family. I had doctors and nurses supporting me.
And Darlene, you're just not graduating. You're going to be the commencement speaker. What does that mean to you now, standing in front of graduating students to speak on that
Oh
stage?
boy. Good. I'm excited. Oh God, I'm excited for this. It's been over 25 years since I spoke in front of a class, so I'm kind of excited, nervous, but I'm ready.
But you know what? That's normal to feel
It
that
is.
way.
It is.
You know what I find fascinating is there's a difference between going and getting a high school diploma or having life experience, and you are going to be able to provide these students that are entering the world, right? Going to enter the workforce or going to go off to school or whatever it is. You're going to provide them with a completely different view on the world and some of the things that they may encounter along the way, some of the trials, the tribulations, the good things that are going to happen. You have a whole different perspective than they do.
Yes, yes, I do. My thing is to let the kids know that it's never too late to go back to school to accomplish anything that you set your goal out to be. It's a lot out here. I mean, we have kids that may be lawyers, doctors, nurses, congressmen, senator. Anything that you set your mind out to, you can do it. And that's what I did. I set my mind to go ahead and go back to school. And I went through, per H to do it because I had been so sick. When I started school, I got so sick. I've had 6 heart attacks. I've been on life support once. I have stents in my heart, stents all through my body, just about.
Wow. And
Yeah.
still decided to go back and do this. Darlene, if you could talk directly to yourself, to your 15-year-old self, when you left school, what would you want her to understand today? That 15-year-old who left back in the 70s.
That I should have stayed in school. I should have stayed in school because the work that they have these kids have us doing today. Oh my gosh, it's tremendous.
Well, it's an incredible story of resilience, and then you get to share your perspective of the world with these students. Are we going to call you Dr. Darlene Lee at some point? Are we going to go? How far are we taking this thing?
I'm not sure. I'm interested in hospitality.
Oh, okay.
I love the hotel work, so that's what I'm thinking about doing.
So you're thinking about going to college or getting a degree in hospitality?
Yes.
Good
That's
for you.
wonderful. That is great. Man, so happy for you, Darlene.
Listen,
So
now
happy.
here's what you can't do, Darlene. You got 4 smart sons. Don't go asking them questions. Don't go getting help from them. You got to do the work yourself.
Oh, I know. I found that out.
Darlene Lee, congratulations.
Yes.
I'm sure there's not going to be a dry eye at that commencement. Thank you for your time this morning. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Really, she just symbolizes Detroit. Detroit, the city of second chances and comebacks. That's what Darlene did. She gets a second chance. She's come back. She's going to get her high school diploma. And, some people, Chris, get to a certain age after they haven't gotten their high school diploma. And they're like, I don't want to go back to school and get a high school diploma. I'm 68 years old. I don't want to,
Yeah.
And they get embarrassed
because
or they feel a certain way.
that's a hard path.
It is.
It's a hard path, probably physically, emotionally,
Especially
mentally.
when you have a person like Darlene who's been sick, who's
Right.
had heart attacks and
Right.
stents and things.
Right.
I mean,
So that's the hard road to travel.
it is.
But that's how you know that the metal of a person is strong, because that's what you do. You
Yeah.
got it. Sometimes you got to take the hard
just
road
gotta
to
do
get
it.
what you want.
You just got to do it.
I absolutely love that story.
Boy, you talking about Good News Friday.
It's pretty darn good news.
That's some good news, right?
It's also going to be good news that the weather is going to be fantastic
Oh,
this
yeah.
weekend. We've got the Grand Prix, the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix
Free
presented by
pre
Lear.
today. Free pre.
Free pre-day. Kevin Dietz is down at the track. He's going to bring you all the sights and sounds.
Is he driving?
Coming up next. I hope so. I do. I hope he is driving. Jamie Edmonds filling in for Paul W. Smith on Focus today.
Yes.
So make sure you tune in to that and a whole lot more. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we will see you Monday right here on JR Morning. Have a good one.